just want to be loved the way I am. Unfortunately, in quotes, just the way you are, may include qualities that make you less lovable than you could be, or even unlovable. Love is not causeless. It is something you have to earn. But how? The starting point is your moral character. Of course, there are many other factors involved in love, including common values and individual personal preferences. Moral character, however, is the foundation, and it is indispensable.
You can download Chapter 1 for free by going to drkenner.com, and you can buy The Selfish Path to Romance at amazon.com.
Have you seen Howie's latest t-shirts and sweatshirts? Grab one now at HowieCarrShow.com. This is the Howie Carr Show.
Today's poll question is brought to you by Mig Relief, a neurologist-recommended nutritional supplement specially formulated for migraine sufferers. Drug-free and multi-patented for children, teens, and adults. Go to migrelief.com now. Steve, what's the poll question? What are the results thus far?
Are you saddened or gladdened that Big Luther is a big loser?
I'm gladdened.
91% say they're happy.
I kind of wanted to have to say Luther Strange for more time, you know? Sounds like a arch nemesis.
Senator Strange, can we call you Lex? Lex Luthor. People are laughing here. They remember Lex Luthor. Remember? Yes. He was Superman's arch nemesis. All right. We're broadcasting here live today from Portsmouth, New Hampshire. We're at the Pease International Trade Port. We're broadcasting in the lobby at 1 New Hampshire Avenue. People are coming by. They're having a good time. We got free cookies, free sushi, free.
Hi, folks. Let's wind the clocks back 60 years. Food was different. Food provided health and nutrition, and using supplements was minimal. Unfortunately, now we have chemicals, GMOs, herbicides, and pesticides that can be quite lethal in the name of our food supply and, of course, the ever-loving dollar. Supplementing our diets can be very important to stay healthy. Cleansing from daily intruders to the body might be critical. Live strong and take charge. Log on to getthetea.com. Our herbal tea is a great way to cleanse from intruders. Our supplements is a great way to maintain and improve your health. When your health is not up to par, go to getthetea.com. No GMOs, no fillers, and organic, and very helpful in keeping you at the top of your game. Life is too short to feel, you know what I mean. Stay in the game, at the top of your game with getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Again, getthetea.com.
You've probably heard about all the great benefits of goat milk soap, but did you know some companies take shortcuts? At Old New England Soap, we make our organic goat's milk soap using 36% goat's milk. That's 17% more than most others. Our bars are larger, so they last longer, producing lots of lather packed with vitamins. And our soap is a natural moisturizer that smooths dry and damaged skin. Order online at oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. You've tried the rest. Now try the best. oldnesoap.com.
Water-based soaps on supermarket shelves use harsh chemical acids to break down dead skin cells. And that's just not good for you. At Old New England Soap, our soaps are made without chemical ingredients, contain no alcohol or petroleum products, and use 85% organic materials and carry the USDA's organic certification. Try some today. Go to oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. oldnesoap.com.
In summary, the president's overall health is excellent. Okay, with that, I'll take some questions.
How much weight have you suggested the president lose?
Can you assess the president's mental fitness for office?
Cholesterol over 220. Do you hope to get it under 200?
Are you ruling out things like early onset Alzheimer's? Are you looking at dementia-like symptoms?
Did he need to be sedated at all? Or he does have heart disease, is that what you said?
The 25th Amendment, a lot of people in the country have been talking about it. Do you believe he is fit for duty?
Sometimes it sounds like he has the sniffles when he's talking.
Do you have a life expectancy range for him based on his results? Is he limited to one scoop of ice cream now?
So is there anything you're
keeping from us for privacy reasons? Are you confident of his prostate health?
I think a waist measurement for the president. His weight, I think he's at 239, right? I think it's just shy of obesity.
It's recommended that most baby boomers get screened for hepatitis C. Did you do a hep C test, or has he had one previously?
Some of the president's friends have told reporters in the past that they think he's a germaphobe, that he washes his hands obsessively. And have you seen any indication of that type of behavior?
Hey, it's Grace. Can we talk about something serious for a minute? Your age. Getting old has its perks. But remember, being a few years younger, you know, your hair was thicker, you didn't have so many wrinkles, that extra weight wasn't haunting you, and you just felt better. Well, we can't turn back the clocks and go back 10 or 15 years, but you can start feeling and looking 10 or 15 years younger with Nature's Youth RSF. It's a doctor-formulated daily supplement that helps your body maintain its peak performance and fight the aging process. Imagine sleeping better, looking better, and feeling better. See how Nature's Youth RSF has helped thousands of people just like you at naturesyouth.com. naturesyouth.com. Imagine how it will feel when you're...
Better strap yourself in. It's time for the Howie Carr Show.
The United States finally and officially recognized Jerusalem as the true capital of Israel.
Live from the Matthews Brothers Studios.
This is history. President Trump, by recognizing history, you have made history. Thank you, President Trump, for having the courage to keep your promises.
America is now seen by many across this region to be siding firmly with Israel, killing any prospect of peace.
People were so hopeful at certain points during history that there might be some sort of peace deal. This just has to make it nearly impossible.
I think that Netanyahu feels that he's gotten the green light, almost a license to kill, from Trump.
Who's your captain? Howie Carr.
I am more offended as an African-American woman than you will ever be. And this business about making America great again, it is your president that's dividing this country. And don't talk to me about the fact that we don't understand what happens on the automobile. No, I will not yield. No, I will not yield.
Unchained and unstoppable.
They know they're on the wrong side of history. As John Meacham said, they know this presidency is going to fall at some point. We don't know whether it's 6 months or whether it's in a year and a half, but they want to be on the right side of history. They want to be a source so they don't get killed in the after report.
Who do you love? Howie Carr.
There is still a very large proportion of the population that is uneasy with women in positions of leadership. And so the easiest way to kind of avoid having to look at someone on her merits is to dismiss her on her looks.
Rump swabs, hacks, and moonbats beware. It's Howie Carr.
I actually think the big story today is that the Supreme Court has legalized sports gambling. And I'm not going to say gaming either. Can we stop calling it gaming? Come on. It's no more gaming than it is medicinal marijuana. You know, marijuana is recreational. I understand there's a few people that use it for pain relief, but it's recreational marijuana, and it's not gaming, it's gambling.
You know, some lobbyists got paid a lot of money to change it from gambling to gaming, Howie. You should respect that.
Yeah, if I were in the maybe I will introduce legislation, because I have the right in Massachusetts as a citizen to just have Alice Peisch, my state representative, or Richard Ross, my state senator, introduce legislation to change the name of the Mass Gaming Commission to the Mass Gambling Commission. It's the Truth in Hackorama law. That's what I would call it. It's gambling, okay? It's very interesting, though, what's happened today, and we don't know, how it's going to play out, but it's certainly opened up a lot of potential vistas here. And we're going to talk a lot about what it is, and it's mainly speculation at this time. But the vote was 6-3. There was a law passed in the latter days of the Bush administration, the first Bush administration. It was like a payoff to Nevada for I don't know, Laxalt or something. I don't know who was involved, but
Sheldon
Adelson,
was he in it? Was he in the game at that time?
He was in the game, but not at the level he's in now, where he can write a check for $30 million to the Republicans. I think it was probably more Laxalt and people like that. Paul Laxalt, he was Reagan's best friend. They were both governors of Nevada. Then I think he became a senator, et cetera. So anyway, they passed this thing, and they said only Nevada basically could have only states with casinos could have gambling, could have sports gambling. And so New Jersey at the time had Atlantic City, but I don't know. New Jersey must have lost their minds or something. I don't know. Maybe the mafia got to them and didn't want to share the racket with Donald Trump at all in Atlantic City. So New Jersey voted it down and quickly realized it was insanity. And so they've been trying for years to get the right to have sports betting. And so all the other states have joined with them. And today, the Supreme Court voted 6-3. It was the conservatives plus Elena Kagan. It was the first good vote she's ever made, or maybe the second or third good vote she's ever made, I think. And they said, look, this is up to Congress. Congress can do this, but if Congress doesn't do it, then the states can go into it. We don't. The Supreme Court is not in the business of fixing bad legislation, which is kind of a surprise to me because they tried to fix Obamacare, didn't they? But now they're saying they're not in the business. But again, the old saying, the Supreme Court follows the election returns. So now they're saying that, Mark Cuban has already said the value of the Dallas Mavericks, and I guess all franchise in the NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball, has doubled. And it's interesting, too, that this comes on the heels of stories over the weekend that, as you know, the Carolina Panthers are for sale, the NFL franchise in Charlotte. Jerry Richardson is the only former NFL player who owns a team, but he's had some Me Too problems, and they basically told him to sell the team. And so his team was valued at $2.3 billion by Forbes last year. He thinks it's worth $2.5 billion. The top offer he's gotten is $2.1 billion. There was a story in the papers this weekend saying this is an indication that the value of NFL franchises has plateaued at the very least because of Colin Kaepernick and the concussion business and declining ratings overall and changing patterns of TV viewing, et cetera. But I think this totally upends that scenario. I think I'm not sure Cuban's value of the Mavericks and all the rest of them has doubled, but I think this certainly makes the Panthers, which is the only franchise in the NFL for sale right now, makes them a lot more valuable. But anyway, we're going to talk about this. 844-500-4242, 781. Gambling is bad, but feel free to play Keno, Mass Cash, Mega Bucks, Powerball, and one of our 500 different scratch tickets, says Massachusetts. See, well, we might as well go with this because we might as well start going with this. Because
I'm shocked that you think that the sports betting is a bigger story today than the Jerusalem and embassy. I mean, the embassy in Jerusalem.
I'm sorry, I do. We're running a show. We're running a show for them. I think people in this audience are thinking more about sports betting and gambling than they are about Jerusalem. We can talk about Jerusalem. I just think I know that I've been. We've known that the embassy was going to open for a long time.
Well, maybe that's the question then: is what's the bigger story today?
Well, the thing is, you have. Is it around? They always say around the water cooler, but now you would say on social media. Is it a bigger story that the embassy has finally opened in Jerusalem, or that you may soon be able to place bets on sporting events? And by the way, Monmouth Park in New Jersey, it's a horse racing facility, a track. They're going to be open in 2 weeks, they say. Of course, they've been preparing for this. They've wanted to do this for a long time. And Jason Gay, a columnist for the Wall Street Journal, has already got a column out saying, he's in favor of this generally speaking, but does he really want to be sitting in the stands where it comes to the third quarter and everybody's suddenly deciding what their bet is going to be on their phone app? Who's going to score first in the third quarter, the Cavs or the Celtics? And I was thinking about this too. when I wrote the book Hitman with Johnny Moderano, he used to tell his introduction to sports. He was a degenerate gambler. He and Howie Winter, they lost their shirts. They were the first bosses of the Winter Hill Gang. They were betting on the late games, just like is going to be going on now. Only there was no internet, there were no apps. There was just a phone. But his father used to take him to Braves Field, because there was nobody at Braves Field because when the Boston Braves played, and they would sit out in center field, and there were a group of gamblers, mainly Italians, few Jewish people, and a handful of others, but mainly Italian and Jewish older guys. And they would bet on every pitch. They would just keep running taps, and everybody knew each other, and they were just betting all game long. Ball or strike, ground ball or into the outfield. Next pitch going to be a foul ball, a ball, a strike, whatever. And it just they did that, and they kept a running count. And that was like a couple of hundred people, maybe a couple of hundred people. Now, when everybody's got a cell phone, it's going to be millions of people doing this. And I'm not, and again, I don't really have a dog in the fight. I don't really care one way or the other, but I'm just wondering if this is a good thing.
People who are bad at math are about to lose a lot of money to people who get into this space and set up apps and websites.
I know.
Just imagine a push alert going to your app of some degenerate gambler saying 3-1 odds LeBron scores the next basket.
I know. See, it's going to be. I remember before there was a lottery in Massachusetts, and everybody bet who wanted to bet, but you had to know a runner. You had to go down to the local bar room or the post or whatever. It's a lot easier to get into trouble now. No, that's what I mean. Yes, Grace.
Since we're going with the idea of what's a bigger story, the embassy story or the gambling, as the call screener back here, I will be taking both calls. If you want to talk about Jerusalem, if you want to talk about gambling, either way.
Okay.
I actually thought that Grace was going to come out here to say, will we be gambling on Jersey Shore in The Bachelorette?
Yeah. 781, early 1970s, Massachusetts started with a Saturday night numbers game. Young people don't know how it goes with this. I know. I said that in the Whitey Bulger thing on the History Channel. They talked about how illegal gambling fell apart. And I mentioned that. I said, start out with Saturday night. I still remember it. I left, I got like some money at Christmas, and I was going back to North Carolina to college, and I gave $10 to my father, and I said, buy me a ticket every week, every Saturday night. Then it went Saturday night and Wednesday night. Then they had the daily number. Or they had a mega number, I think. And then it went to the daily number. Then it went to Keno. Then they used to have punch cards for a while. Do they still have punch cards? I'm not sure punch cards worked out. Patrice, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Patrice. Oh, okay. Okay. Professor, you're next with Howie Carr. Professor George. Go ahead, Professor George.
Yeah, I was very happy about the decision because I already own 3 stocks that are going to benefit tremendously from this legalization of sports betting.
What's that? Which stocks?
Well, Madison Square Garden, which owns the Knicks and the Rangers.
Yeah.
Churchill Downs, which has a website where people can bet on sports. Well, they can bet on horse racing. That they should be able to do sports too. And also Disney, which owns ESPN.
What's that? I'm sorry, I don't know this. I should know this. What is it?
Disney owns ESPN.
ESPN. Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't get the right initials. Okay. Is this going to be good for ESPN though?
I don't think this turns the ESPN ship around.
No. That's like saying global warming is going to be good for the Titanic. Too late. It's already sunk.
I can imagine the ESPN betting app. It comes up. Would you like to donate $1 to Black Lives Matter?
I think the other two though are going to be. I think you're going to make up for the other two. Someone says Seabrook in the Seabrook Racing racetrack in New Hampshire. All these shuttered racetracks. Maybe it's time to say, hey, Amazon. Maybe we don't need you to come into Suffolk Downs in East Boston. Maybe we can just make it a Wynn Casinos or whatever they're calling it now. They say they want the 3 casinos in Massachusetts want the monopoly. And I'm sure the gaming the lottery commission's going to come in on this. 844-500-4242. I'm Howie Carr.
He's the maestro of microaggression. He's Howie Carr.
Discover how Casper has become the internet's favorite mattress with over 35,000 5-star reviews. Go to Casper.com today to sleep assured with a 100-night risk-free trial and special Memorial Day savings. Casper.com. It's important to protect your home with a home security system, but how many home security companies are actually thinking, how can we protect your home and your privacy? And that's what I love about SimpliSafe. They're asking that question. They obsess over details like no other home security company. Here's an example. SimpliSafe has a camera you can control from your phone, but they want to protect your home and your privacy. So they came up with this brilliant idea, a privacy shutter for their camera. Now, SimpliSafe wanted you to be able to hear the shutter click so you know it's closed. They wanted you to have a light on it so you can easily tell when it's on. And they needed it to work for the entire lifespan of the system. So SimpliSafe got to work testing different metals and hinge designs for months and months. The result, an effective home security camera with a thin, lightweight aluminum privacy shutter that will work every time. It's that kind of attention to detail that sets SimpliSafe apart and keeps your family safe. SimpliSafe isn't just home security, it's home security done right. Check out SimpliSafe today at simplysafehowie.com. That's simplysafehowie.com to learn more about SimpliSafe today. simplysafehowie.com.
You can call him Fat Boy, just don't call him late for dinner. He's Howie Carr.
We will bring over your entire family from the third world Muslim hellhole that they live in so that they can have an all-expenses-paid, taxpayer-funded with open bar weekend at a nice hotel in Boston, get a nice sightseeing tour, maybe take them to Fenway Park for a game so they can see their savage Muslim terrorist kinsman sentenced to death. But the President of the United States of America can't be allowed to speak before Parliament because he's such a terrible barbarian, as opposed to the dictator of Red China. And I'm going to call it Red China. Since the Dems are down on Russia, we might as well go after all the communist dictatorships that are left, right? Russia isn't even a communist dictatorship, it's just authoritarian now, but let's call it Red China.
Poor water quality is a major health issue, and it's only getting worse. Municipalities can't keep up, standards have dropped, and pollutants are increasing. Where does it all end? It ends by keeping the pollutants outside of your home with HydroCare's advanced systems available at Wave Home Solutions. No less than the best purification materials and processes have been developed by HydroCare to provide you with healthy, clean water for drinking, cooking, and showering. HydroCare far surpasses the competition in removing chlorine, odors, iron, lead, chemicals, limescale, and much more. Don't settle for less when it comes to your water. We'll take care of the toughest water problems for you, whether it's from a city or well source. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, call 888-997-WAVE. That's 888-997-WAVE. Or go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
Hey, it's Grace. Can we talk about something serious for a minute? Your age. Getting old has its perks. But remember, being a few years younger, your hair was thicker, you didn't have so many wrinkles, that extra weight wasn't haunting you, and you just felt better. Well, we can't turn back the clocks and go back 10 or 15 years, but you can start feeling and looking 10 or 15 years younger with Nature's Youth RSF. It's a doctor-formulated daily supplement that helps your body maintain its peak performance and fight the aging process. Imagine sleeping better, looking better, and feeling better. See how Nature's Youth RSF has helped thousands of people just like you at nature'syouth.com. nature'syouth.com. Imagine how it will feel when your family and friends are asking you what you did to look so good. Your secret will be Nature's Youth RSF. It's time to start looking better and feeling better. Learn more and order your Nature's Youth RSF at nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com.
Hi, this is Val from Longmeadow, Mass.
Hi, this is Tony and Pietra from Havel, Massachusetts.
This is Myrnie in Fairfax County, Virginia, and this is the Howie Carr Show.
Today's poll question is brought to you by Casper. Falling into bed takes on a whole new meaning when you sleep on any Casper mattress. Try yours for 100 nights in your own home. Go to Casper.com and use code Howie to save $50 on the purchase of select mattresses. Terms and conditions apply. See site for details. Steve, what's the poll question? What are the results thus far?
Should states legalize sports betting?
They're not going to have any choice, so yes.
67% say yes, Howie.
Yeah. I don't... You know, have you ever gambled on a sporting event and the game has been decided in the last minute or the last second on a ref's call? Did you ever speculate in your mind that perhaps the results were fixed? I used to bet on the football cards back in the 70s and 80s, and that thought often occurred to me. You know, especially I'd have three winners. I'd have the big $1, big George Washington writing on it. I'd be looking at winning $10 from my local runner, and then at the last moment, someone would kick a field goal and I'd lose by 1 point down the tubes. And I would wonder to myself, do you know that's going to be? And that, again, I was one of a relative handful of people, a few million that were probably betting. When you have this, do you know what it's going to be like?
Oh, Howie, it's going to be even worse than you imagine, because once they get cryptocurrencies involved, and you can have smart contracts, what takes the human element out of it, and you can make bets anonymously. Somebody bets $5 million anonymously, and then one of the star players gets in a mysterious accident.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know what else has increased since we began to legalize gambling? And I was thinking about this morning: embezzlement. A lot more embezzlement cases now than there used to be, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, let's say. It started 45 years ago in Massachusetts anyway. How much more of a problem is that going to be? And I'm not saying I'm against it, because I don't think you can put the genie back in the bottle here. Paul, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Paul.
Hey, Howie, this ruling from SCOTUS on betting.
Yes.
I don't know, man. It's telling me two things. Either we're going to see a bunch of Italian guys a bunch of dead Italian guys in D.C. or lobbyists. You know,
I don't think this is a mafia thing. This is way beyond the mafia. Again, the mafia, the mafia law didn't really like sports betting all that much, or at least a lot of them didn't. I mean, when Howie and Johnny Martorano decided to go into sports betting, you know what, they went to Jerry Angulo, and you know what he said? He said, "I hope you got a barrel full of money." You know?
Also, what's the mafia's experience in developing smartphone apps?
It's not happening. This is not a mafia thing. This is just another addiction thing is what this is. Thanks for the call, Paul. All right, we don't have time for any more. 844-500-4242, 508. Remember the crooked NBA referee? Yes, I do. I remember Paul Hornung and Alex Karras. Remember Pete Rose? Yeah, there's a lot of people we could all remember here as we enter this brave new world. I'm more bemused at this point than I am frightened, but this is going to be very entertaining, shall we say. I'm Howie Carr. Let's be honest. Hair loss is not one of life's more enjoyable experiences. It makes you self-conscious, erodes your confidence, and causes you to waste years of your life trying to hide, camouflage, and generally obsess over the condition. In short, it pretty much sucks. Until you call DiStefano Hair Restoration, and they completely turn your life around with an IGT procedure. Whether you are looking to fill in your hairline or reverse years of hair loss, Dr. Chris Heiness and his team at DiStefano Hair Restoration will create a result that will be a transformative experience. The result of my IGT procedure was quite remarkable. I now have fuller, thicker hair so I could even wear it a bit longer. With the DiStefano difference, balding and hair loss are now optional. And no matter where you are in New England, DiStefano hair restoration is just a short drive away. Call now and get a free IGT consultation. Plus, financing is available with payments as low as $119 a month. Just call 1-800-858-HAIR to learn more. That's 1-800-858-HAIR. Or just visit hairman.com.
This is the Howie Carr Show live from Chappaquiddick at the Party House. 25 years after Chappaquiddick 1969. On WHDH, News Talk 850.
Another bad song from 1969. 742-0850. We're going to take some calls this segment if you want to get on board. If you have any questions for John Farrar, the scuba diver who saw Mary Jo Kopechne's body underwater. The number again, 742-0850. We're going to start talking about the incident and everyone's perceptions. John, let me just get this straight. So now, as far as your belief is that while Ted Kennedy was walking past all these houses back towards the Party House where we're broadcasting from now, Mary Jo was still alive.
That is correct.
And she would have been alive probably for about an hour, you think?
I think that's most reasonable, and if an hour, if not longer, that's correct.
If not.
You've probably heard about all the great benefits of goat milk soap, but did you know some companies take shortcuts? At Old New England Soap, we make our organic goat's milk soap using 36% goat's milk. That's 17% more than most others. Our bars are larger, so they last longer, producing lots of lather packed with vitamins. And our soap is a natural moisturizer that smooths dry and damaged skin. Order online at oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. You've tried the rest. Now try the best. oldnesoap.com.
Water-based soaps on supermarket shelves use harsh chemical acids to break down dead skin cells. And that's just not good for you. At Old New England Soap, our soaps are made without chemical ingredients, contain no alcohol or petroleum products, and use 85% organic materials and carry the USDA's organic certification. Try some today. Go to oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. oldnesoap.com.
You've probably heard about all the great benefits of goat milk soap, but did you know some companies take shortcuts? At Old New England Soap, we make our organic goat's milk soap using 36% goat's milk. That's 17% more than most others. Our bars are larger, so they last longer, producing lots of lather packed with vitamins. And our soap is a natural moisturizer that smooths dry and damaged skin. Order online at oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. You've tried the rest. Now try the best. oldnesoap.com.
Water-based soaps on supermarket shelves use harsh chemical acids to break down dead skin cells. And that's just not good for you. At Old New England Soap, our soaps are made without chemical ingredients, contain no alcohol or petroleum products, and use 85% organic materials and carry the USDA's organic certification. Try some today. Go to oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. oldnesoap.com.
That plan is a campaign to make America white again.
And is literally a love letter to white supremacists.
Effort to keep America white again.
When someone uses the phrase chained migration, it is intentional, literally trying to demonize families and make it a racist slur. It is not right.
African Americans believe that they migrated to America in chains. And when you speak about chain migration, it hurts them personally.
The great divider who injects hatred between groups in America.
To continue to push extremist views on immigration.
Really a shameful practice of holding 800,000 children hostage.
We continue to hold each of those programs hostage.
And says whether you should hold these kids hostage.
When they took the Dreamers hostage, you knew you were going to have to pay a ransom.
She should have been in the same way, as opposed to just doing her job. Well, we know what happened in Europe when people just did their job.
Celebrating 25 years on the air, this is the Howie Carr Show.
844-500-4242. We'll be back in and out on this. Again, we'll be back. this would be what we're doing most of the day, I would think. Sports gambling. This is a big deal, very big deal.
So what's your first bet?
What's my first? Well, listen. Here's the thing. They said in one of the stories I just read that $3 billion was wagered on the March Madness tournament. Do you know what percentage of that was legal? 3%. Number one, I think $3 billion is low, and number three, I think 3% is high. But what I've been doing is every year I bet $10 on UNC to win the national championship, and that'll be the first thing that goes away from the sands. There's a guy that goes out to Vegas every year. His kid went to Duke, so he bets on Duke, and he bets on Carolina for me. That's what he does. So that's the only real sports betting I do.
Wait, can you explain to a non-sports person what are the pros and cons of this? Is this a good thing that it's legalized, or is this just a way for the government to make money off it?
Yes,
it's not a good thing, but it's gone too far.
It's inevitable.
You can't stop it at this point. The time to stop it was in 1972 when they first put in the state lottery. And that's all the states were putting in the lottery. It's too late now. It's over. It's inevitable what happened today. And so it's not a question of good or evil. It's just how you're going to implement it and who's going to get the monopoly and who's going to make the money off of it.
My family bets on the NFL.
Right. Everybody bets on the NFL. That's the big.
They do pick fives.
Yeah, we used to do pick fours. They put out a card, and they would put at the bottom of it for entertainment purposes only. And I was going over all the Flemmy stuff, which I had you print some of it out today. Yes, the Flemmy reports of the FBI, and there's I went through all the reports that he made when he was an informant for the FBI, and there's just this every year there's a report. Winter Hill and In Town, meaning the mafia, met to discuss the lines for this year's cards. Because that was the big thing. Because if one guy is giving better odds, if one mob is giving better odds than the other mob, then it would tilt the business, and the other group. And so plus they had a monopoly, and they didn't have to worry about the Federal Trade Commission, so they could just sit down and make the odds the way they were. And you know what? That's the way it'll be again.
Beaver State Finian. Beaver State Finian says, "I hope they don't allow betting on bridge tournaments at snotty prep schools."
I didn't come here to be made sport of, Beaver State Finian. Okay, go ahead, Grace. What do you got?
We actually have a lot of news today. The most breaking is that Melania Trump was treated for a kidney condition. This just broke a couple minutes ago. It says First Lady Melania Trump underwent treatment Monday for a kidney condition and is expected to remain at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center for the rest of the week, the White House said. In
Stand by for vile tweets.
I know. I was thinking the same thing.
Community.
How can they twist this into something horrible and make us all cringe? They will. Don't lose faith.
By the end of the show, we'll have horrible, horrible stuff.
Yeah, some journalist, I'm using air quotes, will say something like, she deserved this, or something really terrible, because that's what they always do when something bad happens to a Republican. Remember when Joy Reid said, what did she say when the guy came into the softball game?
Steve Scalise was a racist.
Yeah. She said, we wish him
he's
well,
laying on a hospital bed fighting for his life.
I wrote the column about what liberals say now, and the cliches and all that. And one that I forgot to mention, and I was thinking about it when this came over the wire today. Are immigrants good? Yes, immigrants are wonderful. Even MS-13 gangbangers. There's only one immigrant that's bad. You know who that is, right, Grace?
An Irish immigrant?
No, Melania.
Oh, Melania. I thought they do. They don't like the Irish. Let's be real.
No, of course not. Not unless they're illegal aliens
or the West Asian.
But the Irish aren't immigrants anymore.
Yes, we are. We're forever immigrants.
No, but that guy they got arrested in Brighton, the illegal alien. The Globe finally, I tweeted out when he was arrested. I said the Globe finally found an illegal alien they liked, an Irishman they liked, an illegal alien who had been charged with crimes.
That actually brings me to, thank you, Howie. We have a cut from Bernie Sanders, who was discussing illegal immigration and whether or not it is heartless.
I think it is heartless.
Heartless.
I think the entire Trump views on immigration is heartless. in the last polls that I have seen, some 80% of the American people believe that we should provide legal status to the 1.8 million people in the DACA program who are eligible for DACA.
Shut up. He was for cracking down on illegal immigration a few years ago. Yes, you were. Don't deny it. Don't deny it.
He's sounding really old lately. Tired. He doesn't look very good.
He's always sounded really stupid. That's the bigger problem.
Actually, he's always sounded really old, too. I don't know what I'm saying. I mean, he's always sounded like over the hill.
By the
way,
he just
Grace,
looks
raggedy.
How was the White House?
The White House was amazing. I actually saw a woman. I was just outside the White House. For everyone tweeting me, did I meet Donald Trump? No, I did wave, and I looked outside the gates, but I was not inside. But I was walking by, and my mom saw this woman with a Trump sign, and she said, "Oh my God, Grace, you have to go ask that lady if you can borrow the Trump sign. We'll get a picture of you, and you can tweet it out."
That's how you got the sign. I was wondering. I was did Grace bring her own Trump sign down to DC? Because that'd be mad respect for the planning.
I run over to her, and I said, "Ma'am, could I take a picture with your sign?" And she was from Ohio, and you know what she said to me? She said, "Only if it's going to be respectful." And she was serious. Like, she thought I was going to make a joke.
I'm sure she was.
And I said, "Oh my God, I work for Howie Carr. Do not worry. I love Donald Trump."
You pulled it. Do you know who I am?
Yeah. I was like, "I'm Grace Curley." No, I'm just kidding.
I got to do it for the gram.
I said I work for Howie Carr. She didn't seem to, I don't think we're that big in Ohio. So she was like, "I don't care as long as you're not going to disrespect it." And I said, "No, I'm not." And then I took the picture and walked around. It was so fun. Didn't meet him, but I'm getting there.
Did you see any cool
closer.
wacko protesters right in front of the White House?
There was one guy who was protesting, I think it was his right to dance. He was on a cooler, like an igloo cooler, and it said, make dancing great again. And then he was protesting against a UNICEF guy who was trying to get money for UNICEF. And the anti-gun people said to me, "I'm getting really sick of this UNICEF guy. I think he's taking up too much of the protest." It's a real hot spot. You know what I mean?
Nutty space.
It's like being on the corner of New York trying to sell stuff. You have your own corner. So they get really territorial about, what protester comes in their way.
At least you didn't run into the mob of illegal immigrants who were protesting when Howie and I were down there.
I know. There was all kind of random ones. Nothing really that good. I want to talk, though, briefly, because I told Howie, I'm going to show you the story first. You can tell me. Do I have permission?
Yeah, that's a pretty funny story.
Okay. So, as everyone knows, the royal wedding is coming up, and Howie and Steve could care less, which I totally understand. It's a real certain type of person who cares about the royal wedding.
Shallow people.
This is so incredibly significant.
Exactly. Superficial people who care about stupid stuff.
This is CNN.
And that is why I, Grace Curley, will report it to you.
The big story is sports gambling, Grace. Today.
Yes. But this is my big story. This is my sports gambling story, Howie. Okay, so Meghan Markle is an American actress. She's getting married to Prince Harry. All good. She comes from a wackadoo family. She has half siblings who hate her. She has friends who say she betrayed them. Her parents are divorced. Her father was photographed a couple of weeks ago with a book that said Introduction to Great Britain. And he's reading it as if, this poor dad, he might not be invited to the wedding. He might not be asked to walk her down the aisle. Poor him. Look at him studying for Great Britain. I was a sucker for it. I'm like, that is so sweet. He's trying to learn about a country he's never been to. Like, so nice. Turns out it was all a plant. Meghan Markle's.
I'm really impressed by the guy.
The future Duchess.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I want him to be my financial advisor.
Her wacko half-sister who hates her tipped off photographers, told her father to go buy the book, bring it to a certain cafe so they could take pictures of him to make him look sympathetic. And then that photographer sold those pictures to a magazine for $135,000.
And split the money.
She claims she didn't get any money for it, neither did the father. This is amazing.
No, I thought you told me he did.
This is a respectable
I think
grift.
he did, but her excuses. Oh no, we just wanted to make him seem respectable so they would invite him to walk her down the aisle.
Nah, they're just cashing in on that royal money.
Yeah.
And then the other funny thing is the New York Post put up a story this weekend where they said Meghan Markle's half-brother tells her she has one last chance to invite him to the wedding. And the picture they use in the tweet is Meghan Markle's half-brother's mugshot. Like, this family, you gotta be real. The Queen, I'm sure she doesn't care at this point. She's old. She's doing her own thing. She's probably more sad about the corgis. But she is definitely like, who the hell did this kid drag out to this? Like,
I tell you what, if I'm Meghan Markle's second cousin twice removed, I'm ready to spill her deepest, darkest secrets to the Daily Mail.
Oh my God,
for just $100,000.
Totally.
I've got some dish.
I got some good news for Queenie though. Think Princess Fergie. Think Lady Di. It ain't gonna last.
Exactly. That's what a lot of people
How
are saying.
dare you cast aspersions on their love?
Do we dare do a legal bet on how long it's going to last? I'm taking under 3 years. 3 years or under.
I'll take the over.
Okay, Howie?
I'll take the under.
Okay, we'll bet $1.
This is the other thing. Are you going to be able to bet over unders? I mean, how many kinds of parlays are they going to allow here? I would say endless.
All of them, yeah. I think you should be able to bet on anything.
It's a free-for-all. Woo, woo. This news segment is brought to you by and this is exciting news, guys. This is our Father's Day special.
Now that Mother's Day is over.
Yes. We've got 2 fantastic deals, and I'm going to explain them. First, there's a Father's Day book bundle, and you get What Really Happened, Kennedy Babylon, Plug Uglies, and Ratman, all autographed with free shipping for just $50.
I think that's more than $70 worth of books.
It's perfect if you have 4 dads. You can give each of them a copy of Howie's book.
And in today's day and age, who's to say someone doesn't have 4 dads? And if you really want to please dear old dad, go to HowieCarrshow.com and check out the special Father's VIP experience. We're only offering 100 of these, so you need to act fast. Go to HowieCarrshow.com to check out our Father's Day specials.
You get to come to the studio.
I'm always talking about my dad. He would love either of these gifts. He's read a lot of Howie's books. So if you want to make Dad happy on Father's Day, check out these specials. When we get back, Howie, you're never going to guess. This Michael Avenatti, more is coming out about him.
Oh, yes.
He's becoming very shady. And I find it all very ironic because he was big on let's go into Michael Cohen's finances. And, it doesn't have anything to do with the actual Russian investigation, but we need this information because screw personal privacy. Now, his personal finances are coming back to haunt him
through public documents.
Exactly.
Through public bankruptcy filings and paying off liens. Shortly before he began representing Stormy Daniels, he came into a windfall of apparently $8 million.
So when we get back, how you're going to break that down?
I guess he won the lottery.
You're going to break that down. I'm going to break down what blonde model he was seen with this past weekend. And we're also going to add another person to the list of people Vanessa Trump has dated. And this one's going to leave you shocked.
By the way, breaking on CNN confirmed Melania Trump is not sleeping at the White House.
Really?
Yeah, because she's in the hospital.
Oh!
Come on, Grace.
Come on, Grace, wake up.
You're too short, Grace. The high ones are going over your head.
That was bad.
I'm Howie Carr.
If you change the station, the Moonbats win. You're listening to the Howie Carr Show.
Have you seen the Skillings & Sons fleet of trucks on the road? This is Howie Carr. Are you ready for better water pressure and water quality? Or is it time to put your irrigation system on your own well? Skillings & Sons has the fleet of trucks and expert technicians that get the job done right the first time. For over 40 years, Skillings & Sons have been the trusted water professionals. Learn more about water well drilling, water pressure, and water treatment services online at skillingsandsons.com. That's skillingsandsons.com.
Chappaquiddick, Power, Privilege, and the Ted Kennedy Cover-Up is the explosive book that pulled back the curtain on Ted Kennedy's involvement in the death of Mary Jo Kopechne in 1969. Journalist Leo D'Amore spent 4 years investigating the Kennedy clan's elaborate cover-up to produce this damning chronicle of the Chappaquiddick scandal. And now Howie Carr has written the foreword to the release of Chappaquiddick, and the history buff in your family will love reading this thrilling account of political scandal and intrigue. Get it now at HowieCarrShow.com. Click Store.
Making sure that we don't have high-capacity, rapid-fire magazines that allow mass killings.
Maybe we shouldn't have high magazine clips.
Gas-assisted receiver firearms.
Machine gun magazines.
And what sounded like automatic rounds.
Seeing if we can get automatic weapons that kill folks in amazing numbers.
If I wanted to fire this on full semi-automatic, well, why do we need jumbo clips?
The best bill
do you know what a barrel shroud is?
I actually don't know what a barrel shroud is.
Okay, because it's in your legislation.
It's a shoulder thing that goes up.
No, it's not.
What the District of Columbia was trying to do was to protect toddlers from guns.
It is harder to buy cough medicine
than it is to buy an AK-47 or 50 of them.
It is easier for a teenager to buy a Glock than get his hands on a computer or even a book.
It's legal to hunt humans with 15-round, 30-round, even 150-round magazines.
I'm getting older and noticing that my body just doesn't work as well as it used to. So I like to keep fit as possible by hitting the gym a few times a week. Recently, I started having a nagging bicep pain and it got so bad I couldn't even lift the weights. When I was complaining about it to a friend, he told me about Angioprim. He said chelation helps remove toxins, heavy metals, and cholesterol in veins and arteries that may cause blockages. You know, after just 1 week of taking Angioprim, the pain was gone and now I'm back in the gym full strength. Scientific research proves the active ingredient in Angioprim has superior oral chelation action that helps promote cardiovascular health. So to learn more, go to angioprim.com. That's ANGIOPRIM.com, or talk to a trained consultant. Call Angioprim toll free at 877-882-7221. You'll feel better with more energy. Call 877-882-7221 or go to the website angioprim.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
If you have hard water, the Lime Scale not only leaves white spots, it clogs pipes and breaks down appliances, costing you hundreds of dollars in energy and wear. Eliminate Lime Scale and other water issues like brown staining and bad odors with HydroCare water products, available from Wave Home Solutions. Wave's affordable water systems don't use salts or chemicals. You'll love the way your water tastes, smells, and looks. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
This is Alex from East Bridgewater, Mass.
This is Ann in Saco, Maine.
This is John Zuko from Hanson, Mass. And this is the Howie Carr Show.
All right, Grace, back to your news of the day.
I thought you were going to keep going with that. Yeah, so I want to talk about, what should we start with first? Should we start with Michael Avenatti?
We had like 4 minutes to figure this out.
Yeah. In December of last year, Michael Avenatti declared $412,000 in total assets. This court document was filed in the bankruptcy court. Bankruptcy, all right? In January, that a month later, attorney Robert Barnes, he checked out the bankruptcy filings. Attorney Michael Avenatti got an unidentified source of income that allowed him to pay $4.85 million to his law firm employees that he defrauded, close to $2 million in back taxes for payroll taxes on his law firm, and nearly $1 million to other creditors.
Whoa, that's a lot of cash.
This occurred at the same time he picked up a new client, Stormy Daniels. Yet he says, once again, for the 20th time, at least the 20th time, all fees and expenses of this case have either been funded by our client, Ms. Stephanie Clifford, Stormy, who says she's not doing it, or by donations to our crowdjustice.com page.
That's a lot of donations.
Yes, it is. No left-wing conspiracy group is behind this, and no big political fat cat donors are leading the charge. Get over it. This is his statement.
So my only question here is, if you're a Democratic group looking to finance some campaign like this, why do you pick the lawyer who is $10 million in debt? Can't you find another lawyer to represent the porn star and go on MSNBC and CNN and save yourself some money?
That's a good point. Maybe George Soros didn't think of it like that.
Yeah, but who are they going to pick out as the lawyer? Mark Elias from Perkins Coie, who funded Fusion GPS to write the fake dossier for Hillary Clinton.
You think Avenatti's the only crooked lawyer out there?
He's just more of a TV star.
I'm just saying
they're
all kind of creepy. They're all kind of creepy. So this guy just happens to be a little more creepy. He owned a coffee company for a while
with Patrick Dempsey.
Yeah, with Patrick Dempsey. And Patrick Dempsey, they went in business together, and 10 weeks later, Dempsey sued Avenatti. He has this people go into business with him, and it's not like they sue him 2 years later. They sue him a few weeks later.
Patrick Dempsey, for all you out there, played Dr. McDreamy on Grey's Anatomy.
David Knoll, a Seattle attorney representing several Tully's coffee vendors, filed a complaint against Avenatti with the California State Bar in March. In essence, Knoll claimed in his complaint, he bought a company out of bankruptcy and then used it as a pump and dump scheme to deprive federal and state taxing authorities of millions of dollars.
Uh-oh.
Do you think Avenatti's going to try to get involved in the new sports gambling gold rush? Sounds like he's the type of person who's going to be very much in the forefront here.
Wait, so all that stuff he paid off, what is that, like $8 million that he just came into overnight?
Yes.
That's pretty good. I wish I could come into that kind of money overnight. But also,
I'm going to say, what is the name of this group? What's the name of this site? Crowd Justice. I want you to set up a crowdjustice.com page for me in the next hour.
Okay, well, what's the description going to be? It's got to be something like...
We're going to try to set up a big sports betting outfit. We're going to call it Winter Hill, backtowinterhill.com.
All right. I mean, I guess I could do that. Why not spend my time doing that? Seems just as useful as anything else.
I think crowdjustice.com is more for legal campaigns. You just have to find somebody you want to sue. Like, just sue the Democratic Party for illegal immigration.
Ted says, could Avenatti have taken Hillary's cattle futures trading course? You don't need to take that, Ted. You just read the Wall Street Journal's commodity futures column.
Maybe he got, someone knew that this was all going to happen and they gave him a book advance, and he's writing a book about Stormy and Trump and all of this nonsense. Because they pay big money for that. But what I want to tell you, the celebrity aspect, is that he was hanging out with Christy Brinkley over the weekend in Sag Harbor. And they both have a connection because Christy Brinkley said that she was hit on by President Trump when he was still married to his first wife, Ivana.
What's his pickup line? Like, yo, Christy, you see that CNN hit?
Who hasn't hit on Christy Brinkley?
Amen.
I'm Howie Carr.
Are you looking for a pre-owned car? Well, before you go to the dealership where you'll be pounced on by pushy salespeople, give the Car Guys a try. I'm Bill Papageorge, and my job is to make finding the perfect used car as easy as possible. That means I do all of the tough legwork for you. Once I figure out what you want out of a car, I go find it. I've been in this business for a long time, and I know what to look out for. I won't bring you a car unless I know it will meet or exceed your expectations. So give me a call at 800-300-4600. That is 800-300-4600.
Hey, Mainers! Howie Carr's Deplorable Show with Corey Lewandowski is coming to Bangor. You don't want to miss this special live event Friday, June 1st. You'll hear firsthand from Corey what it was like to manage President Trump's historic campaign. From the controversies to the wild victories, you'll hear it all. Tickets include Howie's presidentially endorsed book, What Really Happened, and Corey's best-selling tell-all, Let Trump Be Trump. Don't miss this Deplorable Show with Howie and Corey, Friday, June 1st. Space is limited, so get your tickets now at HowieCarShow.com.
Hi, folks. Let's wind the clocks back 60 years. Food was different. Food provided health and nutrition, and using supplements was minimal. Unfortunately, now we have chemicals, GMOs, herbicides, and pesticides that can be quite lethal in the name of our food supply. And, of course, the ever-loving dollar. Supplementing our diets can be very important to stay healthy. Cleansing from daily intruders to the body might be critical. Live strong and take charge. Log on to GetTheTea.com. Our herbal tea is a great way to cleanse from intruders. Our supplements is a great way to maintain and improve your health. When your health is not up to par, go to GetTheTea.com. No GMOs, no fillers, and organic. And very helpful in keeping you at the top of your game. Life is too short to feel, you know what I mean. Stay in the game, at the top of your game with GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Again, GetTheTea.com.
And we will much about that be committed. So there's no real conflict. Michael Druniak, including Lincoln himself, Daniel Day-Lewis. Behind Monica Lewinsky, the one and only Trey Songz is here. But Allison Lundergan Grimes, Gina De Jesus. When Gina De Jesus, Tea Party challenger Matt Biffin. people don't want to have their Social Security overall. The Republican savior, Mark Rubio's big night in evolution and Galileo. I mean, this whole thing of Galileo. America's changed. Unless IT and Skillets, President Putin doing something similar back in, it won't change this fundamental fact about the GOP. Just how absurd these attacks is.
You're listening to the Howie Carr Show.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
If you have hard water, the lime scale not only leaves white spots, it clogs pipes and breaks down appliances, costing you hundreds of dollars in energy and wear. Eliminate lime scale and other water issues like brown staining and bad odors with HydroCare water products, available from Wave Home Solutions. Wave's affordable water systems don't use salts or chemicals. You'll love the way your water tastes, smells, and looks. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Hey, it's Grace. Can we talk about something serious for a minute? Your age. Getting old has its perks. But remember, being a few years younger, you know, your hair was thicker, you didn't have so many wrinkles, that extra weight wasn't haunting you, and you just felt better. Well, we can't turn back the clocks and go back 10 or 15 years, but you can start feeling and looking 10 or 15 years younger with Nature's Youth RSF. It's a doctor-formulated daily supplement that helps your body maintain its peak performance and fight the aging process. Imagine sleeping better, looking better, and feeling better. See how Nature's Youth RSF has helped thousands of people just like you at nature'syouth.com. nature'syouth.com. Imagine how it will feel when your family and friends are asking you what you did to look so good. Your secret will be Nature's Youth RSF. It's time to start looking better and feeling better. Learn more and order your Nature's Youth RSF at nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com. And now it's time for Presidential Facts with Steve Robinson.
Although Thomas Jefferson and John Adams are recognized as founding fathers, neither of them attended the Constitutional Convention, and neither of them actually signed the document. George Washington and John Madison were the only presidents who signed the United States Constitution. John Adams and Thomas Jefferson once went to see William Shakespeare's home in 1786. They then ripped off a piece of Shakespeare's chair with a knife to take home as a memento. Did you know that Thomas Jefferson invented the swivel chair? James Madison was a little guy. He weighed under 100 pounds and was only 5'4", Little James. John Quincy Adams and Herbert Hoover both had pet alligators. Andrew Jackson once taught his parrot how to curse. It was so bad the parrot had to be removed from Jackson's funeral for swearing too much. Martin Van Buren was the first United States president to be born a citizen of the United States, but his first language was Dutch because he grew up in the Dutch part of New York called Kinderhook.
You're listening to the Howie Carr Show.
And now it's time for Presidential Facts with Steve Robinson.
Although Thomas Jefferson and John Adams are recognized as founding fathers, neither of them attended the Constitutional Convention, and neither of them actually signed the document. George Washington and John Madison were the only presidents who signed the United States Constitution. John Adams and Thomas Jefferson once went to see William Shakespeare's home in 1786. They then ripped off a piece of Shakespeare's chair with a knife to take home as a memento. Did you know that Thomas Jefferson invented the swivel chair? James Madison was a little guy. He weighed under 100 pounds and was only 5'4", Little James. John Quincy Adams and Herbert Hoover both had pet alligators. Andrew Jackson once taught his parrot how to curse. It was so bad the parrot had to be removed from Jackson's funeral for swearing too much. Martin Van Buren was the first United States president to be born a citizen of the United States, but his first language was Dutch because he grew up in the Dutch part of New York called Kinderhook.
Ew, yuck. They're unhealthy. Bugs. I hate bugs. Our home is clean, but occasionally bugs show up. Well, I found something that is tougher than bugs. Orange Guard. From contact, it kills bugs. Plus, Orange Guard kills hidden bugs and keeps new bugs away for weeks. The ingredients in Orange Guard are on the FDA generally regarded as safe list. So Orange Guard may be used around food, humans, and pets. It comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Orange Guard. Available at orangeguard.com and Ace Hardware.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Poor water quality is a major health issue, and it's only getting worse. Municipalities can't keep up, standards have dropped, and pollutants are increasing. Where does it all end? It ends by keeping the pollutants outside of your home with HydroCare's advanced systems available at Wave Home Solutions. No less than the best purification materials and processes have been developed by HydroCare to provide you with healthy, clean water for drinking, cooking, and showering. HydroCare far surpasses the competition in removing chlorine, odors, iron, lead, chemicals, limescale, and much more. Don't settle for less when it comes to your water. We'll take care of the toughest water problems for you, whether it's from a city.
Better strap yourself in. It's time for the Howie Carr Show.
The United States finally and officially recognized Jerusalem as the true capital of Israel.
Live from the Matthews Brothers Studios.
This is history. President Trump, by recognizing history, you have made history. Thank you, President Trump, for having the courage to keep your promises.
America is now seen by many across this region to be siding firmly with Israel, killing any prospect of peace.
People were so hopeful at certain points during history that there might be some sort of peace deal. This just has to make it nearly impossible.
I think that Netanyahu feels that he's gotten the green light, almost a license to kill, from Trump.
Who's your captain? Howie Carr.
I am more offended as an African-American woman than you will ever be. And this business about making America great again, it is your president that's dividing this country. And don't talk to me about the fact that we don't understand what happens on the automobile. No, I will not yield. No, I will not yield.
Unchained and unstoppable.
They know they're on the wrong side of history. As John Meacham said, they know this presidency is going to fall at some point. We don't know whether it's 6 months or whether it's in a year and a half, but they want to be on the right side of history. They want to be a source so they don't get killed in the after report.
Who do you love? Howie Carr.
There is still a very large proportion of the population that is uneasy with women in positions of leadership. And so the easiest way to kind of avoid having to look at someone on her merits is to dismiss her on her looks.
Rump swabs, hacks, and moonbats beware. It's Howie Carr.
Welcome to the Howie Carr Show. If you'd like to join us, the toll-free number from anywhere in the U.S. is 844-500-4242. That's 844-500-4242. Today, the U.S. officially opened its embassy in Jerusalem. It was fulfilling a campaign promise of not only Donald J. Trump, but also Barack Hussein Obama and George W. Bush. He was and William Jefferson Clinton. But he was the first one who actually followed through on his campaign promise. And now, of course, the liberals are in high dudgeon. They are up in arms because he's destroyed the peace process. Hamas ginned up all these Palestinians to throw themselves at the IDF and the border, and it was an invasion of Israel, an attempted invasion, and the Israeli army, the IDF, fired back, killed dozens of them, and somehow now now the blood is on the hands of Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu, not Hamas, for ginning them up and pushing them across the border, but it's somehow Trump's fault. And, now they're pretending that peace was at hand until Trump fulfilled the campaign promises of their hero. Did you hear Martha Raddatz on ABC? I don't think she's been this close to tears since election night. She's pretending that this is the end of any kind of peace prospects in the Mideast, like they haven't been at war for 70 years. The state of Israel is now 70 years old. Let's listen to her. Cut one, Steve. Cut one.
You can certainly see more protests across the region. And I think from my perspective, having covered this region for so long, and people were so hopeful at certain points during history that there might be some sort of peace deal, this just has to make it nearly impossible, because you go in with any sort of predetermination about Jerusalem.
She covered the State Department. She was just listening to people who worked for John Kerry. That's the kind of people those are her sources. I mean, it's like her lips are moving, but you hear John Kerry's words coming out of them. Here's what Trump had to say. Cut number 2.
Today's action sends a critical message. The United States no longer makes empty threats. When I make promises, I keep them.
Exactly. How come people are starting to figure this out? Some of them on the left, and others are totally clueless, like Joe Scarborough or Martha Raddatz. They can't figure it out. But you know what? It's an amazing thing that over the weekend, Willie Brown, the former mayor of San Francisco, the former Speaker of the California Assembly, more importantly, the former boyfriend of Kamala Harris. He writes a column now for the San Francisco Chronicle. Here's the lead. It's time for the Democrats to stop bashing President Trump. It's not going to be easy given his policies and personality. It might even mean checking into a 12-step program. I'd never thought of that, but I think he's on to something there. The first thing you do in a 12-step program, Willie, isn't it? You apologize to somebody. Who are these people going to apologize to? The President of the United States, I would say. But setting a winning agenda is like maneuvering an aircraft carrier. It takes time to change course. And if they want to be on target for the November election, midterm elections, the Dems need to start changing course now. Then this is the funniest part of it, the column by Willie Brown. Like it or not, a significant number of Americans are actually happy these days. It pained him to type those words, didn't it? Like it or not, Americans are doing well.
I don't think that it's just Trump derangement syndrome, though. I think it's also, there was a column in the New York Times about liberals. You're not as smart as you think you are.
Yeah. Let me go. We've got the whole list of them to go through here. They are making, again, this is the list of sorrows that Willie Brown wants to chronicle. They are making money. They feel safe. They agree with his protectionist trade policies. They agree with his call for more American jobs. They agree with his immigration stance. Shh. Willie, don't tell your fellow Democrats that, especially not your ex-girlfriend. We have David Brooks' column in the New York Times, and he's come to a conclusion. I've told you about this before. You know, they ripped, remember they started ripping Trump in 2016? He knows gangsters. This is bad. He was in the real estate development field in New York City. How could he not know gangsters? Over the years, this is David Brooks, the guy who thought Obama was going to be a successful president because of the crease in his trousers. He's one of the never Trumpiest of the never Trumpers. Over the years, a good portion of Donald Trump's peers have been thugs. He had to do business with them. I mean, that doesn't make them his peers, for goodness sake. Operating in the New York construction world meant dealing with S&A Concrete, owned by Fat Tony Salerno of the Genovese crime family, and John Cody, the notorious head of Teamsters Local 282, who was convicted on racketeering and tax evasion charges. If not for the Trump and Michael Cohen peer circle, white-collar prisons would be sitting empty. And all this happened before Trump and Cohen elevated their moral associations even higher by entangling with Russian oligarchs. Oh, yeah? Where? Prove it. Prove it, David. And yet, he says, he concedes, I can't help but wonder if that kind of background has proved a decent education for dealing with the sort of hopped-up mobsters running parts of the world today. There is growing reason to believe that Donald Trump understands the thug mind a whole lot better than the people who attended our prestigious foreign service academies. Thank you. Better late than never that they come to this realization, huh? Here's Trevor Noah, a South African. It's always good to go to a South African to get his take on American attitudes. Cut 5.
I think people underestimate how laser-focused Trump and his supporters are. I think people also underestimate how many people in America are willing to accept the adverse effects of Donald Trump as they pertain to the general discourse in America versus the economy and how people actually feel in their daily lives. So, you know what, Joe?
That's basically what Willie Brown was saying. Did somebody send out a talking point? It certainly wasn't the DNC or George Soros.
Well, they won't admit that things are going better. They won't admit that the economy is good.
Well, no, but basically, Noah and Brown did admit that.
Well, I'm saying that the DNC, they're not. It won't be official Democrat Party talking points that everything's good in America.
Yeah. The Trump comment you played says 91919. He almost sounded like the Godfather. Well, he said he keeps his promises. The Godfather says he keeps his promises. What's wrong with keeping your promises, whether you're the president of the United States or the Godfather? Aren't you supposed to, if you say something, you deliver on it? That makes you doesn't that, generally speaking, make you a better person? All right, let's see. And then Jerry Seinfeld, he's been off the air for a while, but I still think he has a pretty good grasp on comedic what works and what doesn't work. Cut 3.
Do you do Trump stuff when you go out?
No, it doesn't interest me. I do a lot of raisin stuff.
A lot of what?
Raisins. I have a lot of raisin material.
Dried grapes. He says that's better than Trump stuff. I think he's probably onto something here. 844-500-4242. One more cut before we go. Let's play Benjamin Netanyahu thanking Donald Trump today. This is something he never did for Obama. Cut 22.
Thank you, President Trump, for having the courage to keep your promises.
Unlike certain other presidents we could name, right, Mr. Prime Minister? 844-500-4242. We'll take some calls in a moment. I'm Howie Carr.
Howie Carr will return after this brief commercial break.
For over 40 years, Skillings & Sons have been the trusted water professionals for water well drilling, water pressure, and water treatment services. Online at skillingsandsons.com.
The Subaru of New England, Washington's birthday sales event lasts all month long. Feel the freedom in a brand new 2018 Subaru Outback. Buy for only $25,895 with 0% financing for up to 63 months. With over 108 cubic feet of passenger space, there's plenty of room for gear and memories. Buy the Outback with 0% financing and discover more at SubaruofNewEngland.com.
Hey, Mainers. Howie Carr's Deplorable Show with Corey Lewandowski is coming to Bangor. You don't want to miss this special live event Friday, June 1st. You'll hear firsthand from Corey what it was like to manage President Trump's historic campaign. From the controversies to the wild victories, you'll hear it all. Tickets include Howie's presidentially endorsed book, What Really Happened, and Corey's best-selling tell-all, Let Trump Be Trump. Don't miss this Deplorable Show with Howie and Corey, Friday, June 1st. Space is limited, so get your tickets now at HowieCarShow.com.
The United States will withdraw from the Paris Climate Accord.
We are all going to die.
And we all joke about him destroying the world, but this could be it.
That means record heat
more drought in some places. We could see the seas continue to rise. Their kids will have worse asthma, torrential rains and floods in other places. We could see flooding in major cities. They will have a harder time having economic growth. Sea level rising, drowning coastal areas. Deadlier heat waves would be more abundant with droughts and floods. Coal sludge back into rivers and lakes. We'd see droughts, wildfires.
How tens of thousands of people die annually.
Mass extinction in the natural world.
This was a fault on the part of Donald Trump against humanity.
Sea level rise is happening. That's a scientific fact.
And this man is wrecking the planet.
Low-lying countries such as the Marshall Islands would disappear entirely. The world will be a mess.
Donald Trump may have doomed the planet.
You've probably heard about all the great benefits of goat milk soap. But did you know some companies take shortcuts? At Old New England Soap, we make our organic goat's milk soap using 36% goat's milk. That's 17% more than most others. Our bars are larger, so they last longer, producing lots of lather packed with vitamins. And our soap is a natural moisturizer that smooths dry and damaged skin. Order online at oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. You've tried the rest. Now try the best. oldnesoap.com.
Water-based soaps on supermarket shelves use harsh chemical acids to break down dead skin cells. And that's just not good for you. At Old New England Soap, our soaps are made without chemical ingredients, contain no alcohol or petroleum products, and use 85% organic materials and carry the USDA's organic certification. Try some today. Go to oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. oldnesoap.com.
You've probably heard about all the great benefits of goat milk soap. But did you know some companies take shortcuts? At Old New England Soap, we make our organic goat's milk soap using 36% goat's milk. That's 17% more than most others. Our bars are larger, so they last longer, producing lots of lather packed with vitamins. And our soap is a natural moisturizer that smooths dry and damaged skin. Order online at oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. You've tried the rest. Now try the best. oldnesoap.com.
Water-based soaps on supermarket shelves use harsh chemical acids to break down dead skin cells. And that's just not good for you. At Old New England Soap, our soaps are made without chemical ingredients, contain no alcohol or petroleum products, and use 85% organic materials and carry the USDA's organic certification. Try some today. Go to oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. oldnesoap.com.
This is Carrie from Plymouth, Mass.
Hi, this is Jay from Chelsea.
Hi, this is Joni, Cincinnati, Ohio. And this is the Howie Carr Show.
Today's poll question is brought to you by Casper. Falling into bed takes on a whole new meaning when you sleep on any Casper mattress. Try yours for 100 nights in your own home. Go to Casper.com and use code Howie to save $50 on the purchase of select mattresses. Terms and conditions apply. See site for details. Steve, what's the poll question? What are the results thus far?
Should states legalize sports betting?
I don't think they have much choice. It's going to happen one way or the other. If they don't legalize it, the state next door is going to legalize it. Yes, they should.
65% say you bet.
All right. 844-500-4242. Daniel, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Daniel.
Yeah, you're talking about gambling. Donald Trump just went all in and called the world by moving our embassy to Jerusalem.
Well, I mean, he ran on that, Daniel, just like the last three presidents. That was part of his platform. He's the only one who...
the whole world, Howie.
Right, I know. I know. I think it's good. I'm glad he did it. You know, aren't you?
I am too. Yes, I am. And what is Palestine? Correct me if I'm wrong. Palestine is not a country. It was a region of Israel.
Right. No, well, it was. You know what? Until 100 years ago, Daniel. You know what? Palestine was part of Turkey, the Ottoman Empire. I was just reading a review of a book about Lawrence of Arabia this weekend. You know, Palestine has gone back, and Palestine was part of the Byzantine Empire. Palestine was part of various. It was the Crusaders controlled it for a while. It's been controlled by all kinds of people, and there weren't any quote-unquote Palestinians until after 1948. There were just some people living there. Some of them were Muslims. A lot of them were Christians. And there were some Jews living there, and the Christians have mainly been driven out by their Arab neighbors, not by the. And there were some Druze living there too. The Druze haven't fared too well under the Muslims either. Thanks for the call, Daniel. 844-500-4242. So now, of course, again in the classic, what's become a classic pattern here, Donald Trump gets blamed. Whatever he does, if he didn't open the embassy, they would all be saying, well, he's just another politician. He didn't follow through on his promise. But now, of course, they're saying this is killing any prospect for peace. Again, whatever he did, they were going to be opposed to it. It's like Jennifer Rubin in the Washington Post. She used to, the blogger, the so-called Republican says she's no longer a Republican. She used to be for putting the embassy in Jerusalem. Then Donald Trump said, you know what, I am going to put the American embassy in Jerusalem. I'm going to move it from Tel Aviv. And then she was suddenly against it. So this is some guy named Ian Pinnell. This is typical of what was on TV all weekend long. Cut number 20, Steve.
So while almost every other country in the world tried to stay on the fence and keep its embassies in Tel Aviv, America is now seen by many across this region to be siding firmly with Israel, killing any prospect of peace.
These are the same people who were saying that all of our allies are angry that we pulled out of the Iranian nuclear deal. And all of these Sunni countries in the region, like Saudi Arabia, like Qatar, like Kuwait, like the United Arab Emirates, they all tweeted out that they were happy about it. I mean, they might be ecstatic about this, but they're not that concerned about it. There wasn't going to be any peace anyway. And that's not They're just it's an occasion to rip Trump yet again. 844-500-4242. That is the toll-free number of the Howie Carr Show. Here's another one about Trump. Trump is just doing this to, well, you can listen to it. I don't even know who these people are. That was Ian Pinnell. This is some guy named Bobby Gahash. Cut number 14.
To be cloaking this event as if this was some sort of a gesture of peace and that this was the beginning of some kind of peace, as the president was implying, it's unnecessary, and no one's going to believe it for a moment. This has nothing to do with peace. This is to do with the president fulfilling an election promise and pleasing his base and pleasing the people who finance the GOP.
Is he saying that Zionists? Is that what he's saying? Could that be construed as a somewhat of a dig at what Pat Buchanan used to get into trouble for calling the Amen chorus? But I guess he's a leftist, so he can get away with it.
I think that was a verifiable dog whistle, Howie.
Yeah, the people who financed the GOP. Yeah, that was a dog whistle. Yes, that. You know what? Whatever his name is, Bobby Gahosh, Ghosh. I think he's discovered a wedge issue, as the Democrats would say. Brian, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Brian.
Hey, Howie, how you doing?
Good.
Hey, I'm just curious. What is it? All these Hollywood elites or the media? Who is it? Who are they to tell any sovereign nation where they should or shouldn't put their capital? I mean, isn't it up to the country for them to decide to tell us where we should put it? I mean, I don't understand how anybody could be against this.
Well, if Donald Trump is for it, Brian, I mean, what more do you need to know? That's it
Right.
in a nutshell, right?
He says the sky's blue, they're going to say no, it's not.
Right, exactly. If Donald Trump said, you know what, I've decided to move the embassy back to Tel Aviv, they'd say, how dare you? These same people, they'd say, how dare you? Or how dare you? Because they don't see, how many Americans yesterday, by the way, are people who were born in this country, were talking against this deal? Thanks for the call, Brian. All right, we don't have any time. We're going to have, when we come back, Ann Coulter will be with us, and we'll ask her about the way the president dressed down the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security last week, yelling at her for a half hour, supposedly, at a cabinet meeting about her inaction on the wall. 844-500-4242. I'm Howie Carr.
80% of Massachusetts got a tax break. But Senator Elizabeth Warren says,
This tax bill is terrible.
Wrong again, Senator. We deserve better than Elizabeth Warren. Jeff Deal saved taxpayers $2 billion when he took on the special interest to defeat the automatic gas tax, the only Massachusetts tax cut in 7 years. And Jeff is the only candidate for Senate with the guts to support building the wall and a proven track record fighting sanctuary cities.
I'm Jeff Deal, and I approve this message.
Paid for and authorized by Deal for U.S. Senate.
Global marble and granite fabrication and installation are the preferred choice of designers, architects, developers, and the most discriminating homeowners. The finest marble, granite, natural stones, and quartz, creating luxury kitchen countertops, tub surrounds, fireplaces, outdoor kitchen countertops, and any custom projects. Call to schedule your free estimate, 508-771-1001. That's 508-771-1001. Or visit globalmarbleandgraniteinc.com.
But resist we much. We must. They're all jitty about a shutdown. The tortoise in the race, then co-author of Hubris. U2 lead singer Bono, Fran Drescher, Sigourney Weaver, suspect Jahar Tsarnaev, Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor. Is Mike Muckery yesterday, Antonin Scalia, Kim Kardashian, and the Republican candidates for Cairo and Benghazi. We rank behind Lavita. First stop, Kazakhstan to college students in Beijing. He's getting lunch at Chipotle in Iowa. Maine is appropriate. The GOP's tax day giveaway to millionaires. Why was traffic problems email sent?
Hi, folks. Let's wind the clocks back 60 years. Food was different. Food provided health and nutrition, and using supplements was minimal. Unfortunately, now we have chemicals, GMOs, herbicides, and pesticides that can be quite lethal in the name of our food supply. And, of course, the ever-loving dollar. Supplementing our diets can be very important to stay healthy. Cleansing from daily intruders to the body might be critical. Live strong and take charge. Log on to getthetea.com. Our herbal tea is a great way to cleanse from intruders. Our supplements is a great way to maintain and improve your health. When your health is not up to par, go to getthetea.com. No GMOs, no fillers, and organic. And very helpful in keeping you at the top of your game. Life is too short to feel, you know what I mean. Stay in the game, at the top of your game with getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Again, getthetea.com.
Poor water quality is a major health issue, and it's only getting worse. Municipalities can't keep up. Standards have dropped, and pollutants are increasing. Where does it all end? It ends by keeping the pollutants outside of your home with HydroCare's advanced systems available at Wave Home Solutions. No less than the best purification materials and processes have been developed by HydroCare to provide you with healthy, clean water for drinking, cooking, and showering. HydroCare far surpasses the competition in removing chlorine, odors, iron, lead, chemicals, limescale, and much more. Don't settle for less when it comes to your water. We'll take care of the toughest water problems for you, whether it's from a city or well source. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, call 888-997-WAVE. That's 888-997-WAVE. Or go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
And we will much about that be committed. So there's no real conflict. Michael Druniak, including Lincoln himself, Daniel Day-Lewis. Behind Monica Lewinsky, the one and only Trey Songz is here. But Allison Lundergan Grimes, Gina DeJesus. When Gina DeJesus, Tea Party challenger Matt Bivens. People don't want to have their Social Security overall. The Republican savior, Mark Rubio's big night in evolution and Galileo. I mean, this whole thing of Galileo. America's changed. Unless IT and Skillets, President Putin doing something similar back in, it won't change this fundamental fact about the GOP just how absurd these attacks is.
Celebrating 25 years on the air, this is the Howie Carr Show.
844-500-4242. That is the toll-free number of the Howie Carr Show. And one of our texters at 484 says, "What happened to the mole?" So we'll ask Ann Coulter about the mole that the FBI apparently placed in the Trump campaign with no reason whatsoever, just to get a pretext to go to the FISA court and get a warrant to surveil the Trump campaign. Ann Coulter, how you doing today?
Fine, thanks. How are you, Howie Carr?
Good. Have you been following this story about the mole, this Oxford or Cambridge professor, and how he's been paid hundreds of thousands of dollars by the feds over the last few years, and it appears that he was the guy who tried to entrap George Papadopoulos into saying foolish things so that they could get a warrant to surveil the Trump campaign?
I have seen the rumors or stories. I have no update other than what you've said.
Are you shocked, Ann, that the FBI?
I actually am, because I mean, it's clear from their internal emails they didn't expect Trump to win. It really seems like they're going to an awful lot of trouble for a candidate they thought had no chance of winning.
Yeah. I know your father was an FBI agent, right?
Right after law school he was, yes.
What would he make of this? The fact that, that they're not...
He's rolling in his grave. Oh, my gosh. The FBI, when he worked for it, it was, I don't know, about 10 years out of law school. He was working actually with the Red Hunters, looking for communists. He became a corporate attorney after that. And I mean, they were famously honorable. You need to have, as we know from, in my opinion, the scariest Hollywood movies are when you have a dirty cop. There's nothing more terrifying than law enforcement. The people you run to when or you're supposed to when there's trouble. the policeman is your friend, and to have law enforcement at any level behaving badly, I think there is nothing scarier. I'd rather have a corrupt EPA, a corrupt Defense Department, and don't worry, I think we have all of those too. But the FBI, wow, as I think I've mentioned on this program, I think this is, I don't know how well known this is, but it was you would never have something like this under J. Edgar Hoover. Part of the reason he is so maligned by the left, because he was keeping America safe, but one of his policies was not only were all FBI agents men, but he made a point of trying to hire Catholics and Mormons because he thought they'd never lie. They were incorruptible, the most honest.
Well, he also didn't like them going after organized crime because he said there were too many opportunities to be compromised between the money and the drugs and the women, et cetera, et cetera. Little did he realize that associating with Democrats was probably even deadlier than associating with gangsters, apparently.
Yes. No, it's really sad what's happened, and I wish Trump would come home from yet another foreign trip, making Israel great again, making China great again.
Yeah, but he's not there. He's
all
not
these
there.
Other
Ann.
countries great again. Okay, but that's all we're talking about. Can he get back to caring about America? Because wow, there's a lot of swamp cleaning that needs to be done, and this is. I mean, people sense this even if they didn't know the details. They just sense the utter corruption. It had gotten to the point that people would have voted, for Al Sharpton just to blow the system up. Both political parties against the American people, and we wanted a sledgehammer in Washington.
Well, listen, Ann, I got to ask you. You've been down on Trump for not being proactive enough about the wall, but yet there was a story last week that there was a cabinet meeting at the White House, and he spent a half an hour yelling at the Secretary of Homeland Security, Christian or whatever her name is, Nelson, and telling her, "Why aren't you
Kelly's
doing?"
special friend.
Kelly's special friend. But I mean, he yelled at her for a half hour. I mean, isn't that a good sign?
I admit it's a heartwarming story. It makes me feel warmly toward the president. I just wish he'd remember that he is the president. I mean, why did he ever put her there? I don't care how close she is to General Kelly. He surrounded himself. I think I'm up to 2, maybe 3 members of the entire Trump administration who might possibly have voted for him. And you wonder why there are leaks. Oh, we haven't gotten to the leak of this poor woman, Kelly Sadler. I've been busy working on my book, so I haven't been tweeting much, but I've been dying to talk about that.
Well, wait. Let me ask you first. Let me ask. Speaking of Kelly, let me ask you about John Kelly, the Homeland Security Secretary's special friend there. What about all the crap he took this weekend? What he said about illegal aliens coming across the border, that could have been you or me saying that, Ann. And he's taking a lot of crap about it.
It shows. I actually did just tweet out. I was going on Twitter before coming on your show, so I wouldn't be totally out of it. I just retweeted this wonderful lawyer, Ed Whelan, tweeted out that Trump is accused of being you're not listening to the other side, so divisive. Well, has anybody pointed out he's nominated 23 failed Obama judges to district courts? He's gotten 23 of Obama judges on the courts. Did Obama put any of Bush's failed nominees on the court? Okay, Howie, when are Republicans going to give up on this 50-year effort to impress the Democrats with their fairness? Because we never get it back. How many times does this test have to be run? And I think the same thing. That may seem like I'm not answering your question, but it leads directly to your question. I was watching what Kelly was saying. No, it probably isn't something I wouldn't have said. I wouldn't have said, oh, they're good people, they're not criminals. No, they are criminally coming into our country, and they are criminally stealing things that belong rightfully to Americans, government assistance and teachers and roads, and that's even if they don't actually, kill someone in a drunk driving accident.
Well, he said...
So by being absolutely fair... In fact, I meant to tweet this. Then I go down to make myself some coffee, and there's Luis Gutierrez on TV, denouncing Kelly as a racist. So what's the point of extending the olive branch and saying they're good people? I do the same thing. They're not criminals. You're going to be called a racist either way, so just speak honestly.
Well, how about the fact that at least one paper ran a story saying, well, what about John Kelly's ancestors? They came over from Italy and Ireland, and the same thing could be said of them. But Ann, I kept reading the story, and I kept thinking, yeah, but when his ancestors came over from Italy and Ireland, there was no welfare state.
Yep.
They had to get
and
jobs. They had to learn to speak English.
I may write about this week. I am a quarter Irish. That's where I got my taste for liquor. And the Irish, I got to tell you, were a huge problem. Consequently, immigration was totally shut down after about, 20, 30 years of Irish immigration. It was a big problem. We were criminals. And not only was there no welfare, excellent point, most important point, thank you, Howie Carr, but the secondary point is we didn't live in this politically correct world where, you didn't have professors and the media telling us, no, this is just their culture. You're imposing American privilege. No, the Irish Catholic priest slapped around the drunks and told them, go home to your wife, knock it off. You were allowed to criticize bad behavior in immigrants once. Now we're not allowed to. Oh, it's racist.
Yeah, well, I know. And also in pre-Civil War New Orleans, they when they were digging the canals, they always used Irish rather than slaves. You know why, Ann? Because it was really dangerous backbreaking work, and there was a high rate of fatality among the workers. If one of the Irish immigrants died, there was no skin off anybody's rear end. I mean, nobody lost any money. If a slave died, you were out, a couple of $1,000.
Yeah, it's like losing a racehorse, right?
Right. Yeah, so that
it's actual money. Yeah.
Yeah, nobody mentioned any of that. But listen, let's talk about the leak on this woman, Kelly Sadler.
Okay, something that no one is saying. Maybe I'll tweet it when I get off. But number one, they keep saying it's a joke. She was mocking. There's no joke. And by the way, the version that leaked, I'm quite sure is the worst version of what she said. If anything, what the context and the surrounding verbiage would make it better. So let's assume exactly how it is reported. Well, John McCain is dying anyway. That is what she said. There's no joke. There's no mocking. You could say it's blunt. You can say it lacks a certain amount of sentimentality, but there's nothing mocking in it. So stop calling it mocking. Number two, it's not something anybody would say publicly. You wouldn't say it around McCain himself. You wouldn't say it to his family, but she didn't. It was said privately. And third, this was leaked. That's how the McCain family and John McCain himself, were put in this uncomfortable position because of the person inside the meeting leaking it. Yeah, at least when Trump made fun of John McCain, he actually was mocking him. And I did tweet this weekend. You probably remember, we've probably talked about this. I'm sure I put it in Trump We Trust. The famous line that Trump had about McCain, I like my war heroes, I like the ones who weren't captured. That was a joke that Al Franken told 10 years earlier, and I never heard a peep about that.
I know, I didn't know that. I didn't know that, but there was just a story that moved. We should tweet that story out. Someone just emailed it to me. Al Franken said it.
Al Franken said it over the weekend.
Yeah, said exactly the same thing, and nobody ever knew about it until they read Ann's tweet or just heard her say it right now. It's amazing, the double standard. It's like the Tar Baby thing. Remember that one?
No, it's lucky.
The Tar,
I just want to say it's lucky I do not have a job so I can sit around reading.
Yeah, Mitt Romney said Tar Baby, and it was the end of the world. They were going to nominate him for a Ku Klux Klansman of the Year, and John Kerry said Tar Baby, and again, nobody noticed it. Nothing to see here, folks. Move along. It's the old double standard.
Oh, it's gone beyond a double standard. It's like we're living on different planets.
What about the fact, though, that all these people like Willie Brown and David Brooks are saying, maybe Trump's onto something here? What do you think? What is afoot here?
Onto something in what sense?
Well,
Israel?
Willie Brown said the Democrats better lay off Trump, and I think some of them are going to have to go into a 12-step program.
Oh, that's absolutely true, and I hope they don't listen to Willie Brown. I mean, something that we haven't talked about, but I think this may be the headline news of the week. I think in December, the generic ballot had Republicans down for the midterm elections by 16 points. Republicans today are down by 1 point.
Right, which means they're going to win.
It's been moving steadily. This isn't like one fluke poll. Which is why something else I didn't tweet. I'll just fill in, I'll get all my tweeting off my chest when I talk to you, Howie. Over the weekend, Ali Velshi said, it was the strangest phraseology, that the generic poll had Democrats up, I forget what number he gave, but he said something like, by 8 points over the last 12 months. Yep. When have you ever heard of a poll giving you the average for the last 12 months? They're trying to hide the fact that the polls have been moving steadily in Republicans' favor, and I think it is because Democrats are going nuts, and I hope they don't listen to Willie Brown.
And one last thing before we let you go, I just thought of another. We've been talking about cliches on the left-wing cable news channels. What is a poll that looks good for Republicans? An outlier.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, there's a million of those. Okay, Ann, what's the title of your book that you want people to buy right now?
The last one is In Trump We Trust. The one coming out, as soon as I finish it, it's exhausting, is Resistance is Futile.
Resistance is Futile. By the way, someone just texted me that Chris Rock also told that same prisoner joke that Trump and Al Franken told.
Interesting. And he's America's leading comedian.
That's right. Until he goes to Kanye West. Until he goes to the Kanye West route, in which case he's a pariah. All right. Yes. And Coulter, thank you. I'm Howie Carr.
Good to talk to you.
Bye-bye.
He's New England's talk radio king. He's Howie Carr.
Nothing says love like a wonderful rosé or champagne for mom, and Liquor and More has just what you need. Avoid the long grocery lines and visit them in Plymouth, Bourne, South Dennis, South Yarmouth, and now open Wellfleet. Go to their website at liquorandmore.com to see the variety. The idea of falling into bed at night has taken on a whole new meaning ever since I started sleeping on my Casper mattress. The engineers at Casper have really outdone themselves in creating the most exceptionally comfortable sleep experience ever. Get one and you'll totally understand why it's not just my favorite mattress, but the internet's as well. Casper has created 3 unique mattresses that will help you sleep cool and comfortable year-round. The Wave mattress has remarkable technology built into it and is engineered to relieve pressure at 36 different points. The Casper mattress is more breathable and comfortable than ever and is loved by nearly 1 million happy customers. And the Essential mattress is innovation at a great price point. All Casper mattresses are designed with zoned support to coddle and comfort your every move, and they all provide the perfect support for every position you sleep in. See for yourself why Casper has hundreds of thousands of happy customers like me. Try your Casper mattress for 100 nights in your own home with free shipping and returns. Go to Casper.com and use code Howie to save $50 on the purchase of select mattresses. That's Casper.com, code Howie to save $50. Terms and conditions apply. See site for details.
And now it's time for Presidential Facts with Steve Robinson.
William Henry Harrison commissioned bottles of hard cider in the shape of log cabins as part of his presidential campaign. When James K. Polk was 17, he had surgery to remove gallstones without any anesthesia or antiseptic. Zachary Taylor died suddenly, and while the exact cause of his death is still disputed, some historians think it originated from eating cherries in iced milk. President Franklin Pierce, a Bowdoin guy, was arrested for running over an old woman with his horse. The charges were later dropped. Andrew Johnson was completely hammered at his vice presidential inauguration in 1865. Ulysses S. Grant once got a speeding ticket on his horse. He was fined $20. Rutherford B. Hayes signed the act that allowed women to plead cases before the Supreme Court, making it legal for women to practice in the court system. And they say Rutherford never did anything.
Hey, it's Grace. Can we talk about something serious for a minute? Your age. Getting old has its perks. But remember, being a few years younger, you know, your hair was thicker, you didn't have so many wrinkles, that extra weight wasn't haunting you, and you just felt better. Well, we can't turn back the clocks and go back 10 or 15 years, but you can start feeling and looking 10 or 15 years younger with Nature's Youth RSF. It's a doctor-formulated daily supplement that helps your body maintain its peak performance and fight the aging process. Imagine sleeping better, looking better, and feeling better. See how Nature's Youth RSF has helped thousands of people just like you at nature'syouth.com. nature'syouth.com. Imagine how it will feel when your family and friends are asking you what you did to look so good. Your secret will be Nature's Youth RSF. It's time to start looking better and feeling better. Learn more and order your Nature's Youth RSF at nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com.
To buy your home, you became a house hunting ace, learned about loans, scoured neighborhoods, and asked the right questions. Now you're queen of your castle. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. With 401k tips and smart saving strategies, you will feel empowered to own your retirement like you own your home. Go to aceyourretirement.org. Because when it comes to clearing financial hurdles, you're an ace. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council. When you went car shopping, you meant business. You aced vehicle history searches and test drives. You out-salesmaned the salesman. Now you've got your wheels. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. With 401k tips and smart saving strategies, you'll have the info you need to get more for your future. Go to aceyourretirement.org. Because when it comes to speeding past financial challenges, you're an ace. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
This is Mike in Springfield, Vermont.
This is Kathleen from Worcester, Massachusetts.
Hey, this is John in Somers, Connecticut, and you're listening to the Howie Carr Show.
Yeah, I don't mind that bluesy kind of sound for some bumper music. 844-500-4242 is a good day to get on the chump line. 844-500-4242 if you want to leave a recorded voicemail message. There were a lot of bad ice cubes going around this weekend, and so the chump line got kind of loaded up with people who are loaded.
So it was all the people at the Whiskey Priest. They missed Grace. They didn't realize she was going to be down in D.C., so they were drinking their sorrows away and calling the chump line. And
they all thought she'd left. You know, she leaves for one day, and everybody thought she was gone forever. So they all left all these messages, and they weren't true. Anyway, if you want to get on the chump line, it's not too late. It's only a few minutes away. 844-500-4242. Press 2 for the chump line. Leave your message, and we may or may not play it at this time each weekday. And you know, I wanted to play some cuts. I didn't hear this last week when it was first on. Maria Bartiromo had on Devin Nunes, the House Intelligence Chairman, who's really like the MVP of the Republicans in Congress, I think, this year, and he's the California congressman, and he's the one that's trying to get the information on the mole to make it public. Although it may be made public tonight on a cable channel, I think. But anyway, he was talking with Maria Bartiromo, and he's talking about how to get a warrant, you need intelligence, you need information. You can't just look at somebody and say, I don't like the looks of that guy, I'm going to get a warrant on him because I think he might be committing a crime. You need evidence. You need intelligence. So they go on. Anyway, here's cut number 1 here, Steve. Cut number 16, excuse me. Cut number 16.
That actually led to this investigation. So what we found now, after the investigators had reviewed it, is that, in fact, there was no intelligence.
So they just made it up. Total violation of all policy, probably a violation of all the law. And Maria Bartiromo follows up on this. Cut 17.
Chairman, you've got to explain what you just said. I think this is extraordinary. That you're telling us that in order for the FBI, the Department of Justice, to launch an investigation into so-called collusion between President Trump and the Russians, there was no official intelligence used. Then how did this investigation start? I don't understand, sir. Please explain.
Well, I think that is the point. We don't.
That's the point. We don't know. There was no reason for it to be started. This is the fruit of the poisoned tree. There's another op-ed about this in the Wall Street Journal today about another aspect of it, that Mueller has totally overblown his authority to go after these people. There are all kinds of problems with this so-called collusion probe. Howie Carr here with Dr. Houghton from Perfect Smiles. He's here to tell us about a new non-surgical procedure that can change the look of your face.
That's right, Howie. When people want that wow smile, it's often more than just teeth. So we address the shape of the bone that holds the teeth in place.
My listeners know Perfect Smiles for dental veneers, which make your teeth look great, but the facial structure around them can still be lacking. This new procedure can help with that, right?
Yes, like a building, you have to have a good foundation. So this allows us not only to have a better lineup of the teeth, but it makes you look better too.
So let me understand this again. You can take an underdeveloped face, like a small chin or a flat face, and you can help that person develop a fuller, more natural looking face.
Yes, and all non-surgical, because we use these appliances that stimulate the growth that develops you to your full DNA potential. In other words, how you were born to look.
Not only can it change the look of your face for the better, it can also help with TMJ pain and sleep apnea.
And headaches too.
Find out more at perfectsmiles.com. That's perfectsmiles.com, or call 844-A-PERFECT-SMILE.
Music Drives Us is a registered 501c3 nonprofit organization. Since 2006, we have supported hundreds of organizations and performance artists who share a common goal, using music to enrich the lives of others. Thanks to your generosity, New England, we're able to continue our musical mission. And now, we've made it even easier and cooler to show your support for Music Drives Us with our signature guitar pick bracelets. Featuring a sleek, beaded black-on-black design, you can rock the look you love to keep music rolling in New England. Purchase yours online for only $10 at musicdrivesus.org. The MDU Guitar Pick bracelets are also available at James Joseph, Green Tangerine, Corbeau, and Lords and Ladies salons. Music drives us. Does it drive you? Tune in at musicdrivesus.org.
You can call him Fat Boy, just don't call him late for dinner. He's Howie Carr.
We will bring over your entire family from the third world Muslim hellhole that they live in so that they can have an all-expenses-paid, taxpayer-funded with open bar weekend at a nice hotel in Boston, get a nice sightseeing tour, maybe take them to Fenway Park for a game so they can see their savage Muslim terrorist kinsman sentenced to death. But the President of the United States of America can't be allowed to speak before Parliament because he's such a terrible barbarian, as opposed to the dictator of Red China. And I'm going to call it Red China. Since the Dems are down on Russia, we might as well go after all the communist dictatorships that are left, right? Russia isn't even a communist dictatorship; it's just authoritarian now. But let's call it Red China.
You're listening to the Howie Carr Show.
You've probably heard about all the great benefits of goat milk soap, but did you know some companies take shortcuts? At Old New England Soap, we make our organic goat's milk soap using 36% goat's milk. That's 17% more than most others. Our bars are larger, so they last longer, producing lots of lather packed with vitamins. And our soap is a natural moisturizer that smooths dry and damaged skin. Order online at oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. You've tried the rest. Now try the best. oldnesoap.com.
Water-based soaps on supermarket shelves use harsh chemical acids to break down dead skin cells. And that's just not good for you. At Old New England Soap, our soaps are made without chemical ingredients, contain no alcohol or petroleum products, and use 85% organic materials and carry the USDA's organic certification. Try some today. Go to oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. oldnesoap.com.
We are living in some interesting times. Businesses are being bought and sold left and right, so the company you've been doing business with for decades all of a sudden has been replaced by a new company. Why is this important? Well, sir, two of the most important aspects in making a buying decision are the reputation of the manufacturer and the strength of their warranty. As long as the company who made your product is still around and has the same ownership, you generally don't have any worries. But if it's not, or it isn't, and you have a problem, you could find yourself in a who's on first conversation trying to get it resolved. You see, when companies are sold or traded, oftentimes those bulletproof warranties they provided when you bought their product went bye-bye with the previous owners. We here at Matthews Brothers are proud to state that after 164 years, we're not only America's oldest window manufacturer, but we're also one of America's oldest family businesses. So the family business you've been dealing with for decades is the same family business today. Not only that, all our windows and doors come with some of the strongest warranties in the business. So who cares who's on first? You can learn more about our wicked awesome Maine-made windows, but only at Better Lumberyards and Window Professionals, or on the web at MatthewsBrothers.com. Matthews Brothers with one T, America's oldest window manufacturer.
And now it's time for Presidential Facts with Steve Robinson.
Although Thomas Jefferson and John Adams are recognized as founding fathers, neither of them attended the Constitutional Convention, and neither of them actually signed the document. George Washington and John Madison were the only presidents who signed the United States Constitution. John Adams and Thomas Jefferson once went to see William Shakespeare's home in 1786. They then ripped off a piece of Shakespeare's chair with a knife to take home as a memento. Did you know that Thomas Jefferson invented the swivel chair? James Madison was a little guy. He weighed under 100 pounds and was only 5'4". Little James. John Quincy Adams and Herbert Hoover both had pet alligators. Andrew Jackson once taught his parrot how to curse. It was so bad the parrot had to be removed from Jackson's funeral for swearing too much. Martin Van Buren was the first United States president to be born a citizen of the United States, but his first language was Dutch because he grew up in the Dutch part of New York called Kinderhook.
You're listening to the Howie Carr Show.
And now it's time for Presidential Facts with Steve Robinson.
William Henry Harrison commissioned bottles of hard cider in the shape of log cabins as part of his presidential campaign.
When James K. Polk was 17, he had surgery to remove gallstones without any anesthesia or antiseptic. Zachary Taylor died suddenly, and while the exact cause of his death is still disputed, some historians think it originated from eating cherries in iced milk. President Franklin Pierce, a Bowdoin guy, was arrested for running over an old woman with his horse. The charges were later dropped. Andrew Johnson was completely hammered at his vice presidential inauguration in 1865. Ulysses S. Grant once got a speeding ticket on his horse. He was fined $20. Rutherford B. Hayes signed the act that allowed women to plead cases before the Supreme Court, making it legal for women to practice in the court system. And they say Rutherford never did anything.
Poor water quality is a major health issue, and it's only getting worse. Municipalities can't keep up, standards have dropped, and pollutants are increasing. Where does it all end? It ends by keeping the pollutants outside of your home with HydroCare's advanced systems available at Wave Home Solutions. No less than the best purification materials and processes have been developed by HydroCare to provide you with healthy, clean water for drinking, cooking, and showering. HydroCare far surpasses the competition in removing chlorine, odors, iron, lead, chemicals, limescale, and much more. Don't settle for less when it comes to your water. We'll take care of the toughest water problems for you, whether it's from a city or well source. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, call 888-997-WAVE. That's 888-997-WAVE. Or go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
Unexpected reactions to smart financial decisions brought to you by feedthepig.org.
Well, I finally did it. I opened a 401k.
So you're giving up? Just like that?
Giving up on what?
On getting an inheritance from a distant relative.
Don't you think if there were a billionaire in the family, we'd know about it by now?
Listen to me. We are one phone call away from riding horses on our own private polo grounds. One call from christening yachts, having a butler, using summer as a verb.
How do you figure?
Look, everyone's got a rich uncle somewhere. It's statistics. So the best thing you can do is just prepare for the inevitable.
Right, which is why I thought maybe it would be smart to take control of my finances. You know, start using a budget.
Better strap yourself in. It's time for the Howie Carr Show.
The United States finally and officially recognized Jerusalem as the true capital of Israel.
Live from the Matthews Brothers Studios.
This is history. President Trump, by recognizing history, you have made history. Thank you, President Trump, for having the courage to keep your promises.
America is now seen by many across this region to be siding firmly with Israel, killing any prospect of peace.
People were so hopeful at certain points during history that there might be some sort of peace deal. This just has to make it nearly impossible.
I think that Netanyahu feels that he's gotten the green light, almost a license to kill, from Trump.
Who's your captain? Howie Carr.
I am more offended as an African-American woman than you will ever be. And this business about making America great again, it is your president that's dividing this country. And don't talk to me about the fact that we don't understand what happens on the automobile. No, I will not yield. No, I will not yield.
Unchained and unstoppable.
They know they're on the wrong side of history. As John Meacham said, they know this presidency is going to fall at some point. We don't know whether it's 6 months or whether it's in a year and a half, but they want to be on the right side of history. They want to be a source so they don't get killed in the after report.
Who do you love? Howie Carr.
There is still a very large proportion of the population that is uneasy with women in positions of leadership. And so the easiest way to kind of avoid having to look at someone on her merits is to dismiss her on her looks.
Rump swabs, hacks, and moonbats beware. It's Howie Carr.
Hillary, the voters are not worried about women being elected to office. They're worried about you, one particular woman, being elected to office. Sometimes, dear Hillary, the fault is not in the stars, but in ourselves, that we get crushed in the Electoral College vote. But she's still complaining about this, about how she got more popular votes. This is like saying, This like, the Oakland Raiders are always the most penalized team in football, right? So it's like saying, I can't believe we lost to the Oakland Raiders. They were penalized twice as many or 3 times as many yards as we were. The game is not decided on the number of yards that are penalized, or in the case of a presidential election, on the number of votes you got, popular votes. It's decided in the Electoral College. You made the decision not to go to any of those states in the Rust Belt because you wanted to run up the penalty yards in California. It didn't make any sense. Listen to her though. She's still complaining. Cut 7.
The election happens. Forget that I got 3 million more votes. It's over, and we go on to whatever's going to be next. But
you're the one who can't forget. Doesn't matter how many popular votes you get, Hillary.
That there is still a very large proportion of the population that is uneasy with women in positions of leadership. And so the easiest way to kind of avoid having to look at someone on her merits is to dismiss her on her looks.
What's Nikki Haley's approval rate among Republican voters?
Around 80%.
Hillary, come on. Get over it. I thought you had grandchildren. I thought you loved your little grandchildren, Charlotte and what's his name. All right, time now for the Chump Line. The Chump Line is the recorded voicemail message service of the Howie Carr Show.
Howie, you mustn't forget the state lottery. It's for the children.
It's also for the cities and towns, too. This gives them more local aid. So now we're going to have more revenue when we can all bet on NFL games and NBA games and NHL games and Major League Baseball, et cetera, college football.
Howie, this weekend there were 7 people murdered in Australia by a shotgun. I thought they confiscated all the guns.
That was a sad story. There was some autistic kids, and the grandfather was just very depressed about it, so he wiped out the entire family. But yeah, you're right. How about Paris? They have these stringent gun laws, which Trump has talked about in the past. So I guess they're cracking down on Muslim terrorists with guns. So guess what happened this weekend? The guy went nuts with a knife. The cops had been basically following him around, and they still let him get away with it. The Chump Line is brought to you by Matthews Brothers, whose Maine-made windows are available only through Better Lumber Yards and window professionals like Viking Lumber, with 9 locations throughout Mid-Coast and Down East Maine. Viking Lumber. Call us old-fashioned, and we'll say thanks.
Making Jerusalem great again.
Yes, indeed. Now, there were so many opportunities for peace until we made that move, If only the current president had done like the last 3 presidents, broken his promise to move the embassy, then we would have peace in our time, as a British prime minister once so famously said on his way back from Munich, Germany in 1938.
We were like 3 John Kerry Logan Act violations and a James Taylor concert away from breaking this thing.
Yes,
I'm willing to bet that not one penny from all this gambling in Massachusetts goes to fix that pothole in front of my house.
I got news for you. No matter how many things we can bet on, you're never going to be able to bet on that one. It's off the boards in Vegas and everywhere else where any kind of gambling is permitted.
Hey, Roberts, that's a nice Supreme Court you got there. It'd be a shame if something was to happen to it.
508 says she won the popular vote with 2 states, New York and California. Yeah, I think if you subtract California, she loses the popular vote, but definitely if you subtract New York and California.
Now that the Supreme Court has given me back some of my 10th Amendment sanity, I only have one question left. How soon till Honest Howie's Sportsbook opens up?
A lot of people have been asking that question. It won't be long. It's going to take me a little longer than it's going to take Monmouth Park Racetrack in Jersey. They're going to be open in 2 weeks, but maybe a month or two, and we'll have the best odds in town. Maybe.
Governor LePage calling. I hear there's going to be a great deplorable show in Bangor on June 1st, featuring a best-selling author and a talk radio celebrity. Oh, and fake Maynard Howie Carr will be there too.
Yes. By the way, those tickets are still available for our show in Bangor, the Deplorable Show. Corey Lewandowski will be there. You may have read on the internet this afternoon he's taking a job with Vice President Mike Pence, so he can spend more time with him on the campaign trail. I guess, when he was running a PAC, there were certain regulations and rules. He couldn't, I don't know what they were exactly, but this new situation is going to allow him to spend more time on the campaign trail with Vice President Pence. But he will be there with us. You can get your tickets now at HowieCarrShow.com. Click on store, and your ticket for June 1st, 7 o'clock in Bangor, Maine. The Deplorable Show. Grace will be the master of ceremonies, and the ticket price includes my book, What Really Happened, and Corey's book, Let Trump Be Trump.
And I have it on good authority that the president of Howie Carr Nation will also be joining you, not for the live Deplorable Show, but for part of the radio broadcast.
That would be Governor Paul LePage, who just called into the chump line.
Come on, you give them their most notable honorific when you're identifying public figures. President of Howie Carr Nation versus Governor of Maine. Come on.
Mr. President. Both jobs pay about equally well.
When is this thing you speak of called global warming going to show up?
My pugs were asking me the same question this weekend as they tried to do the dog paddle to go outside. It finally the sun came out for a couple hours yesterday afternoon, and I took them for a walk.
Hey, Nunzio, it's that Tony. Got a short thing for you. There's a kid on the Deerfield Bridge team who can be bought. He's in town, so hates all the rich kids. Plus, he can't even get into Brown.
Everything he said was true up until he said I couldn't get into Brown. I would have sold out. There's no question about it. It would have been a bridge fixing team. Deerfield Academy would not have been the New England champions of 1969 had the tournament been on the board and someone had gotten to me. It wouldn't have needed to be Nunzio either. It could have been one of the local guys like Roman.
Hey, Miguel, how come you only got one sweatshirt on? What do you got, the heat cranked up to 90 in there?
Actually, I got two on, but don't worry about it. I got two long-sleeve sweatshirts, and then I got the short sleeve underneath here. My Palm Beach Civic Association blue T-shirt.
Honest Howie's Sports Betting Pavilion, live in Boston. You can trust his bets. He's not like the others.
Nothing fixed here. No past posting. Yes, you can trust him. Honest Howie, he's not like the others.
That was your last chump line message. Thank you for calling Howie Carr, you chump.
All right, that's it for the Chump Line today. The Chump Line is the recorded voicemail message service of the Howie Carr Show. You can call and leave a message at any hour of the day or night, including weekends. The Chump Line number, if you'd like to leave such a message, 844-500-4242, 844-500-4242. Press 2 for the Chump Line. Leave your message. We may or may not play it at this time each weekday. The Chump Line is brought to you by Matthews Brothers, whose Maine-made windows are available only through Better Lumber Yards and window professionals, like Viking Lumber with 9 locations throughout Mid-Coast and down East Maine. Viking Lumber. Call us old-fashioned and we'll say thanks.
Hey, Nunzio, it's that Tony. Got a short thing for you. There's a kid on the Deerfield Bridge team who can be bought. He's in town, so hates all the rich kids. Plus, he can't even get into Brown.
Send the money with Cheech or Buddy. I only do business with guys what I grew up with. I'm Howie Carr.
They call him the Trash Man, but we'll call him Captain Howie Carr.
This half hour of the Howie Carr Show is powered by the Car Guys. Purchasing a pre-owned car can be tricky, but not if you go through Bill Papa George. He is the absolute best in the business. Both Grace and I use the Car Guys, and recently my daughter Charlotte got a car from the Car Guys. Call 800-300-4600. That's 800-300-4600.
Howie Carr.
Hey there, truth seekers. You want to know an easy way to find out if you're in one of New England's better lumber yards? You simply march yourself in and yell just as loud as you can. I want Matthews Brothers windows, and I want them now, please. If the nice person there says, certainly, kind sir or madam, kindly follow me, then you know you're in the right place. However, if they look at you kind of funny or nervously reach for their phone, then you better beat a hasty retreat back out to your car, bike, or horse and drive, pedal, or gallop just as fast as you possibly can while obeying all posted speed limits to the safety of a lumberyard that proudly yells right back at you, fear not, weary pilgrim, you're now entering Matthews Nation. It really is just that simple and only a little bit risky. You can find more information about our wicked awesome Maine-made products, but only at Better Lumberyards and Window Professionals or on the web at MatthewsBrothers.com. Matthews Brothers with one T, America's oldest window manufacturer.
It feels like you're relying on this tax cut of the corporations, of the wealthy, to trickle down.
Yeah, Southwest and American Airlines both announcing they're going to give $1,000 bonuses to employees following the tax overhaul.
Wage increases don't follow tax cuts like this.
So the world's largest retailer giving its U.S. employees a bonus, a wage increase, and expanded maternity and parental leave. So you're creating a huge tax cut, right, and you might not get wage growth.
Right.
Capital One Financial, which just confirmed to CNBC that they will raise the minimum wage for all U.S.-based employees at Capital One to $15 per hour.
And anybody who thinks that this corporate tax cut is going to trickle down to lift wages has a staggering ignorance of how public companies function. Wells Fargo said it would raise its minimum wage to $15 per hour.
That the day we cut the corporate tax rate, wages are going to suddenly jump up when there's absolutely no historical evidence whatsoever that this will happen.
Boeing announced $300 million in investments for corporate giving and workplace improvements.
I'm getting older and noticing that my body just doesn't work as well as it used to. So I like to keep fit as possible by hitting the gym a few times a week. Recently, I started having a nagging bicep pain, and it got so bad I couldn't even lift the weights. When I was complaining about it to a friend, he told me about Angioprim. He said chelation helps remove toxins, heavy metals, and cholesterol in veins and arteries that may cause blockages. After just 1 week of taking Angioprim, the pain was gone, and now I'm back in the gym full strength. Scientific research proves the active ingredient in Angioprim has superior oral chelation action that helps promote cardiovascular health. So to learn more, go to angioprim.com. That's ANGIOPRIM.com, or talk to a trained consultant. Call Angioprim toll free at 877-882-7221. You'll feel better with more energy. Call 877-882-7221 or go to the website angioprim.com.
Hey, it's Grace. Can we talk about something serious for a minute? Your age. Getting old has its perks. But remember, being a few years younger, your hair was thicker, you didn't have so many wrinkles, that extra weight wasn't haunting you, and you just felt better. Well, we can't turn back the clocks and go back 10 or 15 years, but you can start feeling and looking 10 or 15 years younger with Nature's Youth RSF. It's a doctor-formulated daily supplement that helps your body maintain its peak performance and fight the aging process. Imagine sleeping better, looking better, and feeling better. See how Nature's Youth RSF has helped thousands of people just like you at nature'syouth.com. nature'syouth.com. Imagine how it will feel when your family and friends are asking you what you did to look so good. Your secret will be Nature's Youth RSF. It's time to start looking better and feeling better. Learn more and order your Nature's Youth RSF at nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com.
This is Robin from Jonesboro, Maine.
This is Rod in Grand Cayman, Cayman Islands.
This is Laura in Massachusetts, and this is the Howie Carr Show.
$844-500-4242. The poll question today is brought to you by Casper. Falling into bed takes on a whole new meaning when you sleep on any Casper mattress. Try yours for 100 nights in your own home. Go to Casper.com and use code Howie to save $50 on the purchase of select mattresses. Terms and conditions apply. See site for details. Steve, what's the poll question? What are the results thus far?
Should states legalize sports betting?
I'm going to say yes, because I don't think they have any choice.
64% say you bet.
Okay. It's slowly going down, but it's basically about the same as it's been all day long. Just when you think things can't get any nuttier in California, they get nuttier in California. A Democrat California assemblyman introduced a bill seeking to make May Day, or International Workers' Day, a state holiday that would replace President George Washington and President Abraham Lincoln's birthday. Assemblyman Miguel Santiago of Los Angeles filed a bill for consolidating the two presidents' birthdays as a single President's Day, also calling for the state to observe May 1st as International Workers' Day. That's also known as May Day. It had been observed in countries under communism for decades and was designated as an official holiday of the Soviet Union. So is it any coincidence that he wants to make May Day a communist holiday, a holiday right around the same time as Cinco de Mayo Day? Why don't we just give everybody in California that works for the government a week off to celebrate May Day and Cinco de Mayo Day? Honolulu, this is the Associated Press. Isaiah McCoy walked out of a Delaware prison a free man in January of last year, 5 years after being convicted of murder and sentenced to death. A jury found him not guilty at retrial, and McCoy soon began enjoying the spotlight that came with his exoneration. He reveled in speaking engagements before lawyers' associations and anti-death penalty groups. Anyone got to guess where this story's going? You only get one guess. Now he's back in a detention center in Hawaii, where he's charged with 7 counts of sex trafficking. Prosecutors say McCoy, the innocent man, became a pimp after moving to Hawaii, and that he threatened and coerced young women into prostitution. They call his arguments for dropping the charges, including vindictive prosecution, conclusory and baseless. Like people, the prosecutors in Hawaii have a lot of connections to the prosecutors in Delaware. 844-500-4242. Arthur, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Arthur.
You know, it's always a pleasure to listen to Maxine Waters talking about a racist president and how he's divided this country, especially since she's got there's photos of her and 6 other of her caucus members embracing Louis Farrakhan, and not a peep out of anybody.
Yeah, Arthur, I'm offended she doesn't live in the district that she represents in California. Isn't that rather offensive? I mean, I know it's legal.
Well, you know something? You know what? When you're a Democrat, you can do anything you want. How long has it been? Does Ed Markey even know where Malden is?
I know. Arthur, you know, by the way, how does she know that she's more offended than that Republican congressman she was yelling at? You know, I think personally, I'm much more offended than she is at her. And I'll bet you are, too.
I am, too. And you know something? Not one Democrat went to the opening of the embassy today.
Well, I think Joe Lieberman didn't he? Of course, he's not in office anymore. That probably has something to do with it.
And he was an independent as well. But you know something? I don't know how one Jewish person in this country can be part of the Democratic Party. I don't know. I used to think we were smart people, but we never learned.
Did you hear the cut?
Learned our lesson.
We got to play this cut again. This is some guy named Bobby Gosh, and he's using a dog whistle here. He's basically saying that the Republicans have, are playing to their Jewish base. Listen to this, cut 14.
To be cloaking this event as if this was some sort of a gesture of peace, and that this was the beginning of some kind of peace, as the president was implying, it's unnecessary, and no one's going to believe it for a moment. This has nothing to do with peace. This is to do with the president fulfilling an election promise and pleasing his base and pleasing the people who finance the GOP.
Arthur, you're Jewish. How do you take that, what he just said?
How do I take that? I take that guy as was a total anti-Semitic piece of you know what.
Are you offended?
And you know what? Unfortunately, people like that are given a microphone today to put out that filth that just came from his mouth. And by the way, I'm so happy gambling can be in all states.
Thanks for the call, Arthur. 844-500-4242. When we come back, we'll have Grace with Hate Mail Monday, and we'll take more of your calls. Coming right up. Everybody hang on. I'm Howie Carr. Have you seen the Skillings & Sons fleet of trucks on the road? This is Howie Carr. Are you ready for better water pressure and water quality? Or is it time to put your irrigation system on your own well? Skillings & Sons has the fleet of trucks and expert technicians that get the job done right the first time. For over 40 years, Skillings & Sons have been the trusted water professionals. Learn more about water well drilling, water pressure, and water treatment services online at skillingsandsons.com. That's skillingsandsons.com.
Hey, small business owners, would you like to advertise on the Howie Carr Radio Network? Howie's show reaches all across New England, and you know who's listening? Your next customer, client, or business lead. If you're interested in getting your message out on the Howie Carr Radio Network, email us at ads@howiecarrshow.com. That's ads@howiecarrshow.com. You're listening to Howie? Why wouldn't your next customer? He's New England's talk radio king. He's Howie Carr.
The only French term I like is sans culotte, without trousers. I used to describe Ted Kennedy as sans culotte. Because after the O'Bar incident, when he was wandering around down on the beach with his 20th scotch tumbler of the day in his hand, stumbling around with he was just there, as the Michel Casson, Patches Date said, he was just there, without trousers, or as we say in Paris, sans culotte.
We've seen nothing that we can work. That I can work with President Bush on, and I'm disappointed because I thought that there might be some interest because of what he said in the campaign.
President Bush, this is your brain. This is your brain on Botox, okay? That's the lesson of that one.
Does your basement or crawl space have a damp, musty smell? Well, watch out! That's a sign of too much moisture and not enough ventilation. And that can mean increased mold growth and the buildup of harmful toxins and gases. Don't bother with a dehumidifier. It just circulates the same unhealthy air. Now there's a better way to remove these dangers and odors. It's with the computerized Wave Moisture Control Unit that reduces moisture and expels pollutants.
We replaced our old dehumidifier with the Wave unit, and in only 3 weeks, our basement is dry and the musty smell is gone.
Wave units require no maintenance, no buckets of water or filters, and costs only pennies a day to run. Breathe better, live healthier with an affordable, no-maintenance Wave unit. Call 888-717-WAVE, 888-717-WAVE, or visit dryhealthyhome.com. Dryhealthyhome.com.
Ride the wave. Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
You've probably heard about all the great benefits of goat milk soap, but did you know some companies take shortcuts? At Old New England Soap, we make our organic goat's milk soap using 36% goat's milk. That's 17% more than most others. Our bars are larger, so they last longer, producing lots of lather moisturizer that smooths dry and damaged skin. Order online at oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. You've tried the rest. Now try the best. oldnesoap.com.
Water-based soaps on supermarket shelves use harsh chemical acids to break down dead skin cells. And that's just not good for you. At Old New England Soap, our soaps are made without chemical ingredients, contain no alcohol or petroleum products, and use 85% organic materials and carry the USDA's organic certification. Try some today. Go to oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. oldnesoap.com.
In the criminal justice system, the people are represented by two separate yet equally important groups: the police who investigate crime and the district attorneys who prosecute the offenders. These are their stories.
In your pre-law enforcement career as a drug dealer, Trooper, what was your profit margin on that 100-plus pounds of standard-grade weed that you personally sold?
I was making at least $200 a pound.
But weren't you making a lot more selling the Primo stuff, high bud, the so-called hydroponic cannabis?
A lot more, $600 or $700.
As a drug dealer, you yourself were doing a lot of drugs, right? In addition to smoking marijuana, how often?
Basically every day I use Xanax, Wellbutrin, possibly Vicodin. The Xanax I would take for sleep, Wellbutrin I would take for like depression.
What about when the G-men ask you about the dates of certain crimes that you committed?
See, I'm afraid to actually state dates because I don't want to get perjurized for something I don't recall correctly.
Celebrating 25 years on the air, this is the Howie Carr Show.
Well, Mother's Day is over. Now it's time to start shopping for Father's Day, and we've got two fantastic deals at the HowieCarrShow.com store. First, there's a Father's Day book bundle. Kennedy Babylon, Plug Uglies, and Ratman, all of my recent books. More than $60 worth of books, all autographed for just $50, and it includes free shipping. So that's a good deal. You can take care of all your Father's Day shopping. 4 books for $50, free shipping, autographed. And if you really want to please dear old dad, go to HowieCarrShow.com and check out the special Father's Day VIP experience. Bring him into the studio on Tuesday afternoon. Give him some Kowloon's food. He gets books. He gets to meet Grace. Right, Grace? Grace is the hostess of the VIP experience.
Yes, I am.
Oh.
Yes, the Father's Days will be on Fridays.
Oh, these are different ones. These are Friday's Day. Friday,
Yes,
Father's Day. Okay, I'm sorry about that. We're only offering 100 of these, so you'll need to act fast. Go to HowieCarrShow.com to check out our Father's Day specials. So, Grace, what do you got coming up now?
Well, Howie, it is Monday, and you know what that means. It's time for the hate.
Let the hate flow through you.
As always, Hate Mail Monday is powered by Piantosi Baking Company, celebrating over 100 years of baking excellence since 1916. The first one I want to read, Howie, is very interesting, okay? So this weekend I got a text from a friend of mine, and she said, "Did you see Howie was mentioned in the Boston Globe?" Immediately my ears perk up, because anytime you're mentioned in the Boston Globe...
It's always in an extremely positive way,
right,
isn't it?
Exactly. This time, they were interviewing the Massachusetts guys who are behind Pod Save America. It's a very liberal-leaning podcast where a lot of times they talk to Joe Biden, they talk to people like that, you know, they're heroes in the liberal world, and they interview them softball questions.
Do they ask him why he gropes women?
No, I think when they talked to Joe Biden, they asked him about the economy.
About how awesome it was to work with Barack Obama, about the Obama bromance. Basically, if you haven't listened to Pod Save America, all you need to know about is these people worked in the Obama administration, and the only thing they're now qualified to do is run a crappy podcast.
Yeah, and they ask about like the BuzzFeed videos and the memes. They're just very millennial and, you know, not contributing very much. But you'll be shocked to know, Howie, they mentioned you in their interview.
Wow.
One of them, his last name's Favreau. And this is
Should I wave to him right now on the Howie Cam?
I don't know if he's
Newsmax?
a regular watcher.
What's his name?
His last name's Favreau. I don't know what his first name is. Just
Hi,
call him
Fav.
Joe.
Hi, Fav.
Favy. He says,
how's it going? Can I put you down for $10 on the Celtics in the next game? I think they're 3-point favorites.
He says...
Honest Howie says they're 3-point favorites. That's the line on my new sports betting emporium, now that the Supreme Court has given a thumbs up to everything.
So I think the questions they were asking him is, you know, what makes Pod Save America successful? Because a lot of times when Democrats have talk radio, it does not turn out as well as it does for conservatives.
Kind of dreary.
Exactly.
If Pod Save America is successful, it's only because of Trump derangement syndrome and people taking solace in, you know, the Obama bros mounting some resistance.
So this is what Favreau had to say. I remember growing up in Massachusetts on long drives, especially going to New Hampshire. I was sometimes listening to Howie Carr, Jay Severin, some of these right-wing bleep on Boston radio. And I remember
That's hate speech.
And I remember thinking then, you know, if the left did something like this, it would just look different and sound different than the right.
Yeah, it would look like Air America.
They're all about getting people angry all the time. We do better when we communicate with people with humor and with inspiration.
Oh, okay.
And that's about as far as he got. And I did my due diligence. I checked the Boston Globe comment section because I figured the Globies out there would be, jumping on the opportunity. There's Howie Carr's name in this article to comment about what a jerk you are, but they really decided to give you a pass. Thank God, because I would have had to defend you as Coos' assistant 123.
Well, I wrote a column last week about former Congressman Gary Studs being named as one of the leading pervs at St. Paul's School.
Mm-hmm.
And after I wrote the story, the Globe wrote a story about another perv lawsuit at St. Paul's. And so all the people at the Globe on the comment section started going, hey, how come you didn't mention Gary Studs? How come we had to go to Howie Carr's column to read this? And then they kept putting links to my column.
Oh, wow. Did you write underneath as Coos?
No, Coos didn't even comment. There were
It was the digital army of the Howie Carr show.
Dare I say it's time for a new name so that people can't spot you?
Don't you think that he's already come up with one that he just hasn't said on air?
Yeah, what's your new one?
Do you know Heinsohn? A different Celtic from the same era.
I didn't even know that. I was just going off on a wild guess. That's how I know
I
Howie.
figured it had been a long time.
No. So you know what happened?
What?
The Globe decided to take down the comment section on that story. And then
oh my God, that is so weak.
And then they put up another story supposedly about Gary Studs being named as a perv. Of course, it wasn't nearly as complete as my drippy story about it.
Oh, come on. Can we come up with better adjectives than drippy?
R-rated, X-rated, perhaps.
Did Kevin Cullen write a story telling that maybe he told you all the information and that's why you wrote the column?
He was in the car when Gary Studs reached over and said, "Hey, bud."
Yeah.
Can I lend you a hand?
2 hands. According to the lawsuit, he put 2 hands on the on Biff's. The guy, for indeed, that was his name. Biff.
No, really?
Oh,
Young Biff, yes.
Mr. Buffington never told us that he had this legacy of trauma in his family.
He's been carrying this around on his shoulders.
No wonder he's so scared whenever he comes up against a polar bear.
He's under a tremendous amount of stress.
He's had a previous experience with bears.
This is Biff Meinthofer. He now lives in Dorset, New Hampshire. I don't even know how to pronounce it. But anyway, go ahead.
Okay, so also, Howie, there was your article about fake news, and there was a nice big picture. It said, fake news makes 2018 feel like Orwell's 1984. And your photo on the Boston Herald website was Joy Ann Reid from MSNBC.
Yes.
This is a pretty fair point. I mean, if you're not familiar with the Joy Reid story, she wrote a blog.
She's the victim of time-traveling hackers.
Yes. Her blog from... what was it, 10 years ago?
Yes,
was
more than
hacked.
that. 2006, I think.
And it wasn't just her blog. It was the Wayback Machine, the nonprofit that runs an archive of all websites. This guy was talented.
Yes, he was, as Trevor Noah said, he was, a very diligent hacker. And
he didn't just write in some obscenity. He rewrote the entire pieces that she did.
Somehow managed to capture her voice and style from the pieces that she admitted were hers.
And keep in mind, this is all before anyone knew who she was, which is kind of the most impressive part of the whole thing.
The tax collectors in Forsyth County, North Carolina, knew who she was because they were sending her dunning notices for non-payment of taxes.
We should check if one of them has hacking experience because she would have been on their radar. So yeah, Howie wrote this great article about fake news, and these are some of the comments that Howie got. I'm going to let you respond to these, okay? Now, the first one, everyone can guess. When Howie writes about anything, he always gets one of these comments from TDS people. What about all the lies that come from the president, Howie?
What, you mean like I'm going to move the embassy to Jerusalem? We're going to destroy ISIS. We're going to bomb the bleep out of them. We're going to make America great again.
What about the guys in North Korea?
Little Rocket Man is going to come to the table.
Okay, so you defend yourself against that one. How about this one? Howie is grasping desperately at straws to try and find some way to make it all about the media and not the guy who swindled seniors with a fake university. But nothing to see there,
Seniors?
Seniors?
Wait, what?
I feel like he got Bernie Sanders' wife, that thing, and Trump confused, and he melded them together. Because wasn't the wife involved with...
Well, she was involved with a college, and she was involved with bank fraud.
But there was definitely old people involved too, wasn't there? Didn't they
Other than
put
Bernie?
No, I don't think there was old people involved there, but swindling seniors.
For some reason, I remember someone texting in during the Bernie Sanders wife thing saying that old people in wheelchairs were being rolled out of the place so that she could come in.
I don't know. I don't think that Donald Trump ever sold.
Yeah, that's right. They closed some kind of a Catholic halfway house or nursing home, something like that. Yeah,
I was up behind the board, and someone said they're rolling them into the lakes to get them out
Lake
of it.
Champlain.
Yes,
yeah, 'cause it was right on the lake.
Okay. So now, my next person, William O'Chee, says, what a lazy article. It's a joke, just like Howie. In addition to perpetual lies, Trimp is the top pimp.
Trimp?
I think it was a spelling error.
Is that the new one?
Trimp
I've
is
heard
a
of
pimp?
Drump. I've heard of Drumpf, but never Trimp.
Is plying fake news. Fox is as bad as the rest.
Did they spell Fox F-A-U-X?
No, they spelled it F-O-X.
Oh, okay. See, this guy doesn't know the
lingo.
The lingo, yeah, right.
Ariana says
the protocols of the genre.
Unless it's showering the insecure marmalade moron / habitual liar and
marmalade
golfer.
Is now a synonym for orange.
That's one of their favorites now. Is marmalade.
I can actually appreciate that. That's pretty good.
Okay, but wait, I have to move to this now. Okay, this was one that. This is hot off the presses. Ann Coulter, every time she's on with us, she'll tweet out, "Going on with Howie. Check it out." She wrote, "I'm coming up on the Howie Carr show moments from now." R. Rascal writes back, "Who the bleep is Howie Carr?"
Hey, Mr. Rascal.
And also I want to say, Howie Carr tweeted out a picture of, sometimes I feel like you're just doing this to make my job easier. You tweet out a picture of one of the pugs. And from a really rough angle. I'm talking like upward of the chins type thing. Very strange.
Tina came home from BC on Saturday night and she took the picture and we both liked it. So I said, let's tweet it out.
Well, this was your caption. Gunnar the Wonder Pug relaxes as I reread the FBI files on wise guy Stevie Flemmi in preparation for his star turn as witness against his old buddy Cadillac Frank Salemi in federal court. So there was the pug. These are some of the comments. Gunnar looks worse for the wear. Why did you take a picture
Gunnar's not as young as he used to be, okay? Who is, by the way?
Boy, there is so much truth in that pets look like their owners. Why did you take a picture of Gunnar's rear end? Oh, yeah, pugs look the same from both ends.
Gunnar didn't come here to be made sport of. That's all I can say.
Oh, and no, I guess that's... Oh, yeah, and then one person commented, wow, you're doing that on a Saturday night? Work never ends, #loser. Do you want to comment on that?
Did I turn up some interesting stuff in those FBI files?
Yes, you did, Howie.
You didn't know about the murder contract that was placed on Elliot Richardson, did you?
No, I did not. But now I do. So it was all worth it.
And it's public document, too. I hope they ask him about that on trial.
Besides, you probably watched some Boston Blackie, too. You did something a little bit like more Saturday night-ish.
Yeah, you know what I did? I ordered a book on Columbia Studios series, including Boston Blackie, The Whistler, The Crime Doctor.
Did you order any of those spy books that you have me get you? The really old school ones that come and they're like all dusty and weird.
No, those are spy books. Those are Perry Mason's.
Did you order those?
I've read all of them now. I've read like 70 of them.
They're so cheap online. It makes me so sad even ordering them. It's like 40 cents for each book.
You know what really is the bitch is the postage costs more than the book.
Yeah. Hate it when that happens.
I do too. If the book costs 40 cents, the postage should be no more than a dime, in my opinion. All right. Thank you, Grace.
Thanks,
That's
Howie.
Hate Mail Monday. We'll be back with your calls in just a moment. 844-500-4242. I'm Howie Carr.
You're listening to the Howie Carr Show.
Howie Carr here with Ronnie from Life Change Tea. Ronnie, Get the Tea has changed my life, but many of my listeners don't understand what Life Change Tea is. Can you tell them?
It's a wonderful tea. It detoxes you. Most people find the side effect for the first couple months is weight loss because we get stuff trapped in our colon. We don't get it out. We don't cleanse, and we feel yucky. So what you're going to start feeling is a lot of energy.
So you can lose some serious weight drinking Life Change Tea?
I lost 25 pounds drinking the tea in 3 months.
Wow. And it just makes you feel better, too.
When you're sick, all of a sudden, when you start taking natural things, boy, I tell you, the sickness starts going away.
I can attest to that, Ronnie. Where can people go to learn more and order Life Change Tea?
They can go to getthetea.com. I make it really simple because people will say, oh, geez, I need to get the tea. So getthetea.com, and we actually put a lot of information out there so you know what you're getting. It's not just a product, and then you go, wonder what this is for. All the stuff is explained right there on the website.
Getthetea.com.
The United States will withdraw from the Paris Climate Accord.
We are all going to die. And we all joke about him destroying the world, but this could be it.
That means record heat, more drought in some places.
We could see the seas continue to rise.
Their kids will have worse asthma, torrential rains, and floods in other places.
We could see flooding in major cities.
They will have a harder time having economic growth. Sea level rising, drowning coastal areas.
Deadlier heat waves would be more abundant with droughts and floods.
Coal sludge back into rivers and lakes.
We've seen droughts, wildfires.
How tens of thousands of people die annually.
Mass extinction in the natural world.
This was a fault on the part of Donald Trump against humanity.
Sea level rise is happening. That's a scientific fact.
And this man is wrecking the planet.
Low-lying countries such as the Marshall Islands would disappear entirely.
The world will be a mess.
Donald Trump may have doomed the planet.
You've probably heard about all the great benefits of goat milk soap. But did you know some companies take shortcuts? At Old New England Soap, we make our organic goat's milk soap using 36% goat's milk. That's 17% more than most others. Our bars are larger, so they last longer, producing lots of lather packed with vitamins. And our soap is a natural moisturizer that smooths dry and damaged skin. Order online at oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. You've tried the rest. Now try the best. oldnesoap.com.
Water-based soaps on supermarket shelves use harsh chemical acids to break down dead skin cells. And that's just not good for you. At Old New England Soap, our soaps are made without chemical ingredients, contain no alcohol or petroleum products, and use 85% organic materials and carry the USDA's organic certification. Try some today. Go to oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. oldnesoap.com.
I'm getting older and noticing that my body just doesn't work as well as it used to. So I like to keep fit as possible by hitting the gym a few times a week. Recently, I started having a nagging bicep pain, and it got so bad I couldn't even lift the weights. When I was complaining about it to a friend, he told me about Angioprim. He said chelation helps remove toxins, heavy metals, and cholesterol in veins and arteries that may cause blockages. You know, after just 1 week of taking Angioprim, the pain was gone, and now I'm back in the gym full strength. Scientific research proves the active ingredient in Angioprim has superior oral chelation action that helps promote cardiovascular health. So to learn more, go to angioprim.com. That's ANGIOPRIM.com, or talk to a trained consultant. Call Angioprim toll free at 877-882-7221. You'll feel better with more energy. Call 877-882-7221 or go to the website angioprim.com.
This is Arthur in Harrington, Down East Maine, Washington County.
This is Joan O'Hanley in Medford, Massachusetts.
Hi, this is Scott from Litchfield, New Hampshire, and you're listening to The Captain on The Howie Carr Show.
You know, Mueller indicted all these Russian individuals and these Russian companies for their allegedly illegal actions during the 2016 campaign. One of the companies didn't even exist during the 2016 campaign. So it was they always say, a prosecutor can indict a ham sandwich. Robert Mueller is the first prosecutor who has ever indicted a ham sandwich that didn't exist. But so one of the Russian entities went into court and is demanding a speedy trial. They tried to stall it because they have no evidence. They're trying to make it go away. They just file these indictments as as sort of a way to show that they were serious and there were Russians involved, but they have no evidence. They have no case. So now the attorneys for an alleged component of Russian trolling efforts have filed a motion in federal court in D.C. Demanding that Robert Mueller, the special counsel, be forced to reveal the grand jury instructions used in count one of the government's indictment against Concord Management and Consulting. They want an inspection of the legal instructions provided to the grand jury regarding count 1 of the indictment in order to determine whether the instructions could provide a motion to dismiss count 1 of the indictment. Now that we have legalized betting, can we bet on whether or not Concord Management is going to be convicted of anything? No, we can't, because that's another one that's off the board. There's no chance in Hades that they are going to be convicted of anything. Bob, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Bob.
Yes, Howie. I was just remarking on, moments ago, you talking about Hillary stating how she won the popular vote. I did a study on this about a month after the election. If you remove 5 counties, 1 L.A. County, and then if you remove Brooklyn, the Bronx, Manhattan, and Queens, if you take all of the Hillary votes and all of the Trump votes away from the election, the result is Hillary still wins California, Hillary still wins New York, however, Trump comes ahead in the popular vote. And I think it just speaks of the brilliance that the Founding Fathers gave us, that, it doesn't allow that these, population centers or whatever the case may be can then dictate who our president will be.
Right, and it's also it shows how brilliant the Trump campaign was. Remember that? They said they were totally disorganized. They don't know what they're doing. Why is he flying to Bangor, Maine? Because he got that one vote.
Obviously.
Why did he fly to Manchester, New Hampshire on the night before the election? Because he knew that New Hampshire was in play, and it probably was stolen from him by Democrat shenanigans. Why did he fly to Michigan?
People showing up. Yeah, they're New Hampshire residents, and never to prove otherwise.
Right, and why did he after leaving Manchester that night, election eve? Why did he fly on election morning to Grand Rapids, Michigan? Because he knew Michigan was in play. Hillary hadn't bothered to go to even Detroit. She sent Chelsea to Detroit. She hadn't even sent even Chelsea to Wisconsin because she was so sure she was going to win. Yeah, it's not Trump's or the Russians' fault that she lost. She lost this election fair and square. Thanks for the call, Bob. Barbara, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Barbara.
Hi, Howie.
Hi.
I was wanting to talk about the sports betting.
Yes.
If they pass that, it'll be just like the lottery system. All the money they say that's supposed to go to the schools and to help children out,
right.
It's just only helped that money has helped the left to put their agenda in schools. And do you know, Howie, I've been paying attention to the movies on TV. At the end, most people don't watch the end. You know what it says on that left movie? Lottery paid.
It says
lottery paid.
Well, it also says no animals were harmed in the filming of this movie. You're in West Virginia, Barbara. West Virginia is one of the states that's mobilized probably after with Mississippi and New York after New Jersey. It's the state that's going to be first in line to legalize sports betting now that the Supreme Court has ruled in the way they have. I'm Howie Carr.
Our military members embark on a mission of protection and service to a nation and people they love. When returning home, things don't always go as planned. There are over 50,000 veterans homeless in America. The DV Farm in Gilson, New Hampshire is giving some of these veterans a second chance at a new mission, integrating back into society. Without state or federal funding, the DV Farm relies solely on your donations. Please make a tax-deductible donation to dvfarm.org today. One homeless veteran is too many. Let's complete this mission together.
Are you looking for a pre-owned car? Well, before you go to the dealership where you'll be pounced on by pushy salespeople, give the Car Guys a try. I'm Bill Papageorge, and my job is to make finding the perfect used car as easy as possible. That means I do all of the tough legwork for you. Once I figure out what you want out of a car, I go find it. I've been in this business for a long time, and I know what to look out for. I won't bring you a car unless I know it will meet or exceed your expectations. So give me a call at 800-300-4600. That is 800-300-4600.
You've probably heard about all the great benefits of goat milk soap, but did you know some companies take shortcuts? At Old New England Soap, we make our organic goat's milk soap using 36% goat's milk. That's 17% more than most others. Our bars are larger, so they last longer, producing lots of lather packed with vitamins. And our soap is a natural moisturizer that smooths dry and damaged skin. Order online at oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. You've tried the rest. Now try the best. oldnesoap.com.
Water-based soaps on supermarket shelves use harsh chemical acids to break down dead skin cells. And that's just not good for you. At Old New England Soap, our soaps are made without chemical ingredients, contain no alcohol or petroleum products, and use 85% organic materials and carry the USDA's organic certification. Try some today. Go to oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. oldnesoap.com.
And now it's time for Presidential Facts with Steve Robinson.
William Henry Harrison commissioned bottles of hard cider in the shape of log cabins as part of his presidential campaign. When James K. Polk was 17, he had surgery to remove gallstones without any anesthesia or antiseptic. Zachary Taylor died suddenly, and while the exact cause of his death is still disputed, some historians think it originated from eating cherries in iced milk. President Franklin Pierce, a Bowdoin guy, was arrested for running over an old woman with his horse. The charges were later dropped. Andrew Johnson was completely hammered at his vice presidential inauguration in 1865. Ulysses S. Grant once got a speeding ticket on his horse. He was fined $20. Rutherford B. Hayes signed the act that allowed women to plead cases before the Supreme Court, making it legal for women to practice in the court system. And they say Rutherford never did anything.
Listening to the Howie Carr Show.
Hi, folks. Let's wind the clocks back 60 years. Food was different. Food provided health and nutrition, and using supplements was minimal. Unfortunately, now we have chemicals, GMOs, herbicides, and pesticides that can be quite lethal in the name of our food supply, and, of course, the ever-loving dollar. Supplementing our diets can be very important to stay healthy. Cleansing from daily intruders to the body might be critical. Live strong and take charge. Log on to getthetea.com. Our herbal tea is a great way to cleanse from intruders. Our supplements is a great way to maintain and improve your health. When your health is not up to par, go to getthetea.com. No GMOs, no fillers, and organic, and very helpful in keeping you at the top of your game. Life is too short to feel, you know what I mean. Stay in the game, at the top of your game with getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Again, getthetea.com.
Hey, it's Grace. Can we talk about something serious for a minute? Your age. Getting old has its perks. But remember, being a few years younger, you know, your hair was thicker, you didn't have so many wrinkles, that extra weight wasn't haunting you, and you just felt better. Well, we can't turn back the clocks and go back 10 or 15 years, but you can start feeling and looking 10 or 15 years younger with Nature's Youth RSF. It's a doctor-formulated daily supplement that helps your body maintain its peak performance and fight the aging process. Imagine sleeping better, looking better, and feeling better. See how Nature's Youth RSF has helped thousands of people just like you at nature'syouth.com. nature'syouth.com. Imagine how it will feel when your family and friends are asking you what you did to look so good. Your secret will be Nature's Youth RSF. It's time to start looking better and feeling better. Learn more and order your Nature's Youth RSF at nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com.
In the criminal justice system, the people are represented by two separate yet equally important groups: the police who investigate crime and the district attorneys who prosecute the offenders. These are their stories.
In your pre-law enforcement career as a drug dealer trooper, what was your profit margin on that 100-plus pounds of standard grade weed that you personally sold?
I was making at least $200 a pound.
But weren't you making a lot more selling the Primo stuff, high bud, the so-called hydroponic cannabis?
A lot more, 600 or 700.
As a drug dealer, you yourself were doing a lot of drugs, right? In addition to smoking marijuana, how often?
Basically every day. I use Xanax, Wellbutrin, possibly Vicodin. The Xanax I would take for sleep, Wellbutrin I would take for depression.
What about when the G-men ask you about the dates of certain crimes that you committed?
See, I'm afraid to actually state dates because I don't want to get perjurized for something I don't recall correctly.
You're listening to the Howie Carr Show.
And now it's time for Presidential Facts with Steve Robinson.
James Garfield was ambidextrous, and he could write Greek with his right hand while simultaneously writing Latin with his left. They don't teach that at Deerfield. Grover Cleveland allegedly date raped a woman, got her pregnant, forced her to put the child in an orphanage, and then committed her to an insane asylum. That's like some Clinton stuff. Benjamin Harrison was nicknamed Kid Gloves because he always wore goatskin gloves, allegedly to protect himself from infection. Grover Cleveland is the only president to have ever served as a hangman. He carried out multiple executions. William McKinley's wife suffered from epileptic seizures, and when she had seizures during public events, McKinley would gently place his handkerchief over her face and carry on.
Hey, it's Grace. Can we talk about something serious for a minute? Your age. Getting old has its perks. But remember, being a few years younger, you know, your hair was thicker, you didn't have so many wrinkles, that extra weight wasn't haunting you, and you just felt better. Well, we can't turn back the clocks and go back 10 or 15 years, but you can start feeling and looking 10 or 15 years younger with Nature's Youth RSF. It's a doctor-formulated daily supplement that helps your body maintain its peak performance and fight the aging process. Imagine sleeping better, looking better, and feeling better. See how Nature's Youth RSF has helped thousands of people just like you at nature'syouth.com. nature'syouth.com. Imagine how it will feel when your family and friends are asking you what you did to look so good. Your secret will be Nature's Youth RSF. It's time to start looking better and feeling better. Learn more and order your Nature's Youth RSF at nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com.
You've probably heard about all the great benefits of goat milk soap, but did you know some companies take shortcuts? At Old New England Soap, we make our organic goat's milk soap using 36% goat's milk. That's 17% more than most others. Our bars are larger, so they last longer, producing lots of lather packed with vitamins. And our soap is a natural moisturizer that smooths dry and damaged skin. Order online at oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. You've tried the rest. Now try the best. oldnesoap.com.
Water-based soaps on supermarket shelves use harsh chemical acids to break down dead skin cells. And that's just not good for you. At Old New England Soap, our soaps are made without...
Better strap yourself in. It's time for the Howie Carr Show.
The United States finally and officially recognized Jerusalem as the true capital of Israel.
Live from the Matthews Brothers Studios.
This is history. President Trump, by recognizing history, you have made history. Thank you, President Trump, for having the courage to keep your promises.
America is now seen by many across this region to be siding firmly with Israel, killing any prospect of peace.
People were so hopeful at certain points during history that there might be some sort of peace deal. This just has to make it nearly impossible.
I think that Netanyahu feels that he's gotten the green light, almost a license to kill, from Trump.
Who's your captain? Howie Carr.
I am more offended as an African-American woman than you will ever be. And this business about making America great again, it is your president that's dividing this country. And don't talk to me about the fact that we don't understand what happens on the automobile. No, I will not yield. No, I will not yield.
Unchained and unstoppable.
They know they're on the wrong side of history. As John Meacham said, they know this presidency is going to fall at some point. We don't know whether it's 6 months or whether it's in a year and a half, but they want to be on the right side of history. They want to be a source so they don't get killed in the after report.
Who do you love? Howie Carr.
There is still a very large proportion of the population that is uneasy with women in positions of leadership. And so the easiest way to kind of avoid having to look at someone on her merits is to dismiss her on her looks.
Rump swabs, hacks, and moonbats beware. It's Howie Carr.
844-500-4242. We're going to talk about sports betting. The Supreme Court today said that the federal statute outlawing sports betting in every state except Nevada, basically, was unconstitutional. 6-3 vote, and so the gold rush is on for sports betting in the in all of the or most of the states. There's been estimates that within 5 years, at least 32 states will have sports betting. I think that's a lowball number myself. I'll take the if the number's 32, I'll take the over on that. And everything's going to be a bet now. You know, it's all going to be on the board. But before we get to that, I wanted to just mention a couple of other stories. They made an arrest finally in the murder of those two poor guys in Jamaica Plain. Not this weekend, but last weekend, and they were killed. They were just standing around in Jamaica Plain. A drive-by shooter came by, a kid who was just about to graduate from Salem State College with a degree in accounting, and a 53-year-old guy. They totally innocent bystanders. What interested me about the arrest, other than the fact that they finally got somebody, is that the Boston police. They checked the surveillance video afterwards. There are now so many surveillance cameras in Boston and everywhere else, basically, that they have footage of the alleged killer on 10 different cameras as he leaves. 10. They got him. I mean, they just got him going they got him going on a camera. They got him all the way to where he went to another housing project and got out. I think they got him down. All right, another horrible story here. There was a guy who kidnapped a woman in New Hampshire, Brian Chevalier, and he was sentenced to 30 years. And he had a hearing, a parole hearing in October, and the woman he kidnapped testified against his release and said, "Do not underestimate him again," she told the parole board in New Hampshire. "I have never been able to relax. Hypervigilance is exhausting. I continue to look over my shoulder even though I've moved thousands of miles away from New Hampshire. I underestimated the offender when I broke off all contact with him weeks before the assault. I will not make that mistake again. I do not have a presence on social media." This is what she wrote to the parole board about telling him not to release this guy. "There are no photos of me in circulation. I did not publish my engagement announcement. I have to explain to my employers why I will not allow them to put my picture on staff web pages. I own no property. I have no utility bills in my name." And what do you think the parole board did after they got that tearful plea not to release the guy?
Enjoy your freedom.
Yeah, they released him. They released him on December 14th. 4 months later, he allegedly strangled a 49-year-old mother of two sons. And then 2 days after that, he was arrested in Mexico. Another successful rehabilitation story of the American criminal justice system. He was good to go. Thank you, New Hampshire Adult Parole Board. You know how long they conferred before they released him? According to the Herald this morning, less than 25 seconds. Less than 25 seconds. In other words, they conferred less time than it took to read the statement of the woman that he had kidnapped 15 years earlier. 844-500-4242. Another devastating story about the special counsel today, Robert Mueller. It's from John Solomon. You've seen him on Sean Hannity's show. He wrote it for The Hill. Mueller may have a conflict, and it leads directly to a Russian oligarch. Even Mueller's former law enforcement comrades and independent ethicists, whatever an independent ethicist is, acknowledge raises legitimate legal issues and a possible conflict of interest in his overseeing of the Russia election probe. In 2009, when Mueller ran the FBI, the Bureau asked Russian oligarch Oleg Deripaska to spend millions of his own dollars funding an FBI-supervised operation to rescue a retired FBI agent, Robert Levinson, captured in Iran while working for the CIA in 2007. That would be the same Deripaska whose name has surfaced in Mueller's current investigation and who was recently sanctioned by the Trump administration. The Levinson mission is confirmed by more than a dozen participants inside and outside the FBI, including Deripaska, his lawyer, the Levinson family, and a retired agent who supervised the case. Mueller was kept appraised of this operation, officials told me. So was Mueller engaging in FBI and Russian collusion? I believe he was. FBI agents courted Deripaska in 2009 in a series of secret hotel meetings in Paris, Vienna, Budapest, Hungary, and Washington. Agents persuaded the aluminum industry magnate to underwrite the mission. One agent who courted Deripaska was Andrew McCabe, the recently fired corrupt FBI director who played a seminal role in starting the Trump-Russia case, multiple sources confirmed, and whose wife took hundreds of thousands of dollars from the Clintons in the run-up to the 2016 campaign. The Russian oligarch ultimately spent $25 million assembling a private search and rescue team that worked with Iranian contacts under the FBI's watchful eyes. And they had the deal. They think he's dead now, but Solomon doesn't say that. He's been working with the family and all that. But all the earlier stories I've read, they think he's deceased now. But David McGee, a former federal prosecutor who now represents Levinson's family, he's the FBI agent who was working for the CIA that they tried to rescue. Deripaska's efforts came very close to success. Would you care to guess who deep sixed the efforts? I'll tell you. This is from the former federal prosecutor who represents Levinson's family. It's a quote. "We were told at one point that the terms of Levinson's release had been agreed to by Iran and the U.S. and included a statement by then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton pointing a finger away from Iran. At the last minute, Secretary Clinton decided not to make the agreed-upon statement. And now the guy's dead, an American citizen." The FBI had three reasons for choosing Deripaska for a mission worthy of a spy novel. First, his aluminum business had connections to Iran. Second, the FBI wanted a foreigner to fund the operation because spending money in Iran might violate U.S. sanctions and other laws. Third, the agents knew Deripaska had been banned since 2006 from the U.S. by the State Department over reports he had ties to organized crime and other nefarious activities. So basically, he was getting it back in good with the United States by doing this good deed for America. And it was coming close to fruition, and then Hillary deep-sixed it. And now the American apparently is deceased. And Deripaska's name is all over this Russian collusion investigation, and Mueller has said nothing about his ties to this guy, because he was the head of the FBI when all this was going on, when they were courting him. But we haven't heard anything about this until this very afternoon.
You think Mueller has Deripaska's phone number?
It certainly would appear that he does, doesn't it? Do you think who's more likely? Let's go back to the betting board. Who's more likely to have Deripaska's phone number? A, Special Counsel Robert Mueller. B, President Donald J. Trump. I got a hunch. I'll bet a bunch on Mueller. Oh, God. And again, but Mueller had nothing to do with keeping the FBI, the four innocent men in prison for 35 to 40 years in Boston, even though the FBI knew they were innocent from day one and had actually helped to frame them in state court. Mueller knew nothing about that, says Nancy Gertner, the retired federal judge, who in 2006 wrote an opinion saying that the FBI was acting in a chilling manner by refusing to turn over documents that would exculpatory documents in the case when Mueller was the director of the FBI. 2040 says, strange that these same few names keep coming up in all these political cases. Yeah, exactly, isn't it? We're going to go back to talking about the Supreme Court's decision on sports betting when we come back. If you want to talk about this, 844-500-4242. I'm Howie Carr.
Don't touch that dial. Howie Carr will be back after this.
Complete and total strangers often come up to us and ask, "Hey, Matthews Brothers, why are your products only available through Better Lumberyards and Window Professionals? What's up with that?" Of course, we don't answer them since we're not supposed to talk to strangers. But if we did know them, we'd tell them that it's for two very good reasons. First, unlike your spouse, windows are generally a once-in-a-lifetime decision, so it makes sense to consult a competent professional, not just your good buddy Dave. Second, the best windows in the world, even wicked awesome made windows, won't perform as promised if they're not correctly installed. Without proper installation, you're not getting the full value from your investment. That's why Matthews Brothers only partners with Better Lumberyards and Window Professionals, and it's why you can't get our windows and doors from just anyone who pops up on the web. But take heart, you can find that special someone who will give you a lifetime of happiness, at least as far as windows go, but only at Better Lumberyards and Window Professionals or on the web at MatthewsBrothers.com. Matthews Brothers with one T, America's oldest window manufacturer.
In summary, the president's overall health is excellent. Okay, with that, I'll take some questions.
How much weight have you suggested the president lose?
Can you assess the president's mental fitness for office?
Cholesterol over 220. Do you hope to get it under 200?
Are you ruling out things like early onset Alzheimer's? Are you looking at dementia-like symptoms?
Did he need to be sedated at all? Or he doesn't have heart disease, is that what you said?
The 25th Amendment, a lot of people in the country have been talking about it. Do you believe he is fit for duty?
Sometimes it sounds like he has the sniffles when he's talking. Do you have a life expectancy range for him based on his results? Is he limited to one scoop of ice cream now?
So is there anything you're keeping from us for privacy reasons? Are you confident of his prostate health?
I think a waist measurement for the president, his weight, I think he's at 239, right? It seems, I think it's just shy of obesity.
It's recommended that most baby boomers get screened for hepatitis C. Did you do a hep C test, or has he had one previously?
Some of the president's friends have told reporters in the past that they think he's a germaphobe, that he washes his hands obsessively. And have you seen any indication of that type of behavior?
Poor water quality is a major health issue, and it's only getting worse. Municipalities can't keep up, standards have dropped, and pollutants are increasing. Where does it all end? It ends by keeping the pollutants outside of your home with HydroCare's advanced systems available at Wave Home Solutions. No less than the best purification materials and processes have been developed by HydroCare to provide you with healthy, clean water for drinking, cooking, and showering. HydroCare far surpasses the competition in removing chlorine, odors, iron, lead, chemicals, limescale, and much more. Don't settle for less when it comes to your water. We'll take care of the toughest water problems for you, whether it's from a city or well source. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, call 888-997-WAVE. That's 888-997-WAVE. Or go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
If you have hard water, the limescale not only leaves white spots, it clogs pipes and breaks down appliances, costing you hundreds of dollars in energy and wear. Eliminate limescale and other water issues like brown staining and bad odors with HydroCare water products, available from Wave Home Solutions. Wave's affordable water systems don't use salts or chemicals. You'll love the way your water tastes, smells, and looks. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
This is Candy in Cumberland, Maine.
This is Bill in Underhill, Vermont.
This is Carol from Braintree, Mass. And this is the Howie Carr Show.
So I just want to say one more thing about this Deripaska case involving Mueller and Mueller, how well Mueller knew him. Evidence has emerged tying Deripaska to former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort, the first defendant charged by Mueller's Russia probe with money laundering and illegal lobbying. Deripaska once hired Manafort as a political advisor and invested money for him in a business venture that went bad. Deripaska sued Manafort, alleging that he had stolen money. So now people are asking the question, shouldn't Mueller have mentioned this or at least come clean with the court about his relationship with this guy? He didn't mention Deripaska's name in the Manafort indictment. And Alan Dershowitz said the real question becomes whether it was proper to leave Deripaska out of the Manafort indictment and whether that omission was to avoid the kind of transparency that is really required by the law. And then here's a more important point by Melanie Sloan, a former Clinton Justice Department lawyer, by the way. She says a far more significant issue is whether the FBI operation with to get Levinson out of Iran was even legal. It's possible, she said, the Bureau's arrangement with Mr. Deripaska violated the Anti-Deficiency Act. I never heard of that. The Anti-Deficiency Act, which prohibits the government from accepting voluntary services. So in other words, what did Bob Mueller know and when did he know it? The very important Anti-Deficiency Act may have been violated. Jonathan Turley, constitutional law professor of George Washington University. If the operation with Deripaska, the oligarch, contravened federal law, this figure could be viewed as a potential embarrassment for Mueller. The question is whether he could implicate Mueller in an impropriety. And the larger question would be, would MSNBC and CNN care? Not in the least. Not in the least. Because it's Mueller time. 844-500-4242. That's the toll-free number of the Howie Carr Show. So what do you think of this decision by the Supreme Court? They have struck down today a federal law prohibiting sports gambling in a landmark decision that gives states the go-ahead to legalize gambling on sports. The court rules 6-3 to strike down the Professionals and Amateur Sports Protection Act, PASPA, a 1992 law that was passed during the waning days of the George H.W. Bush administration that barred state-authorized sports gambling with some exceptions. It made Nevada the only state where a person could wager on the results of a single game. Apparently, New Jersey had the opportunity to get in on it because they had casinos at the time. They were the only two states in 1992 where they had legalized casino gambling. The court ruled states that want to offer legal sports betting may now do so, and New Jersey plans to be the first. They're going to Monmouth horse racing park is going to be open in 2 weeks, they say. Delaware, Mississippi, New York, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia are among the other states expected to quickly get into the legal bookmaking game. The court ruled in favor of New Jersey and against the NCAA, NFL, NBA, NHL, and Major League Baseball. The impact will be widespread. For nearly 26 years, Nevada has been the only state allowed to offer a full menu of sports betting options. A record $4.8 billion was wagered at Nevada sports books in 2017. So, do you think your state should be allowed to or should legalize sports betting, and who should run it? You know, here in Massachusetts, we have 3 casinos, or we soon will have 3 casinos. They want in on it. They want to run it. But what about the lottery commission, the state lottery commission? I'm sure they're going to make a play for it. And what about just having sports books on the corner? What about your local bookie? You know, why should he be kept out of it? Why should he be put out of business?
Is there going to be occupational licensing for being a bookie? Do you have to pass like a 5-hour course to learn how to keep the books? You mean the board of registration? Are we going to have a board of registration for bookies? Or they used to call them in Ireland turf accountants. But this would be more than turf accountants. There's going to be a whole new class of majors at your community college.
Well, Jay from Chelsea said now we're going to have the Massachusetts SBC, the MSBC, the Massachusetts Sports Betting Commission. Yeah, because this is more than the State Gaming Commission couldn't even investigate and find out that Steve Wynn was a perv. They spent $4 million on it, and they couldn't figure out what the Wall Street Journal figured out by talking to Steve Wynn's wife or her lawyers, the wife's lawyers. Although she claims she didn't give him anything. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
508 says, God bleep it, DraftKings is betting on sports. Yeah, but there's a difference here. You're not betting on fantasy sports. You're not betting on the stats that an individual player is going to accumulate. You're betting on the actual outcomes of a game.
I don't think it's going to end well, but I don't think there's any way around it. I have no dog in this fight. I have no money. I have no money down on this this sporting event. But what do you think? Do you want it? 844-500-4242. Nick, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Nick.
Hey, Howie, interestingly, a couple of weeks ago on the Fox Levin show, he had Joe DeGenever on and Dan Bongino. They both brought out that name near the end of the show, Deripaska, and they said there's a lot to be known about Mueller's relationship with that particular guy. Also, too, before I go, the guy, helper there, possibly the mole, you said he looked like, he had a pickle nose. To me, and he does. And to me, if you look at it in the right light, he reminds me of Danny DeVito, the Penguin.
He's taller than Danny DeVito, I think, in person, but you're right. I mean, yeah, Danny DeVito made up. Yeah, he does. His nose is a lot like Danny DeVito's nose. You're right, absolutely. I hope he's going to be named tonight, the Pickle Nose. I'm Howie Carr.
Are you looking for a pre-owned car? Well, before you go to the dealership where you'll be pounced on by pushy salespeople, give the Car Guys a try. I'm Bill Papageorge, and my job is to make finding the perfect used car as easy as possible. That means I do all of the tough legwork for you. Once I figure out what you want out of a car, I go find it. I've been in this business for a long time, and I know what to look out for. I won't bring you a car unless I know it will meet or exceed your expectations. So give me a call at 800-300-4600. That is 800-300-4600.
Our military members embark on a mission of protection and service to a nation and people they love. When returning home, things don't always go as planned. There are over 50,000 veterans homeless in America. The DV Farm in Gilson, New Hampshire is giving some of these veterans a second chance at a new mission, integrating back into society. Without state or federal funding, the DV Farm relies solely on your donations. Please make a tax-deductible donation to dvfarm.org today. One homeless veteran is too many. Let's complete this mission together.
This is a public service announcement from the Howie Carr Radio Network. If you have an elderly neighbor, now is a good time to pay them a visit and see if they're okay. Dementia affects millions of elderly Americans, so you should learn to spot the signs. Like forgetting who the President of the United States is.
There's complete evidence, we've seen nothing that we can work, but I can work with President Bush on it.
President Bush has come out against that, as you know. President Bush tries to charm you. And they are not with President Bush. Excuse me.
Or frequently losing your train of thought. Or lashing out at friends and colleagues.
What's that about?
Or repeatedly undermining your political party's attempt to win back the House of Representatives.
This is Armageddon.
This public service announcement was brought to you by Honest Howie's Botox Services. Because Honest Howie cares.
You've probably heard about all the great benefits of goat milk soap, but did you know some companies take shortcuts? At Old New England Soap, we make our organic goat's milk soap using 36% goat's milk. That's 17% more than most others. Our bars are larger, so they last longer, producing lots of lather packed with vitamins. And our soap is a natural moisturizer that smooths dry and damaged skin. Order online at oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. You've tried the rest. Now try the best. oldnesoap.com.
Water-based soaps on supermarket shelves use harsh chemical acids to break down dead skin cells. And that's just not good for you. At Old New England Soap, our soaps are made without chemical ingredients, contain no alcohol or petroleum products, and use 85% organic materials and carry the USDA's organic certification. Try some today. Go to oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. oldnesoap.com.
Hi, folks. Let's wind the clocks back 60 years. Food was different. Food provided health and nutrition, and using supplements was minimal. Unfortunately, now we have chemicals, GMOs, herbicides, and pesticides that can be quite lethal in the name of our food supply and, of course, the ever-loving dollar. Supplementing our diets can be very important to stay healthy. Cleansing from daily intruders to the body might be critical. Live strong and take charge. Log on to getthetea.com. Our herbal tea is a great way to cleanse from intruders. Our supplements is a great way to maintain and improve your health. When your health is not up to par, go to getthetea.com. No GMOs, no fillers, and organic, and very helpful in keeping you at the top of your game. Life is too short to feel, you know what I mean. Stay in the game, at the top of your game with getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Again, getthetea.com.
And now it's time for Presidential Facts with Steve Robinson.
The teddy bear got its name from Teddy Roosevelt. During a hunting trip, a guide tied a bear to a tree for the president to shoot, but he refused, stating that it was unsportsmanlike. William Taft was a member of the secret Skull and Bones Society at Yale, which his father co-founded. Woodrow Wilson is the only president to have earned a PhD, and he didn't learn to read until he was 10 years old. Warren Harding drank during Prohibition, had extramarital affairs, and allegedly had a child out of wedlock with a woman who was 31 years his junior. Calvin Coolidge had a pet pygmy hippopotamus named Billy. While living with his uncle on a Native American reservation in Oklahoma, Herbert Hoover learned to make bows and arrows, but he never claimed to be a Cherokee.
Celebrating 25 years on the air, this is the Howie Carr Show.
Today's poll question is brought to you by Casper. Falling into bed takes on a whole new meaning when you sleep on any Casper mattress. Try yours for 100 nights in your own home. Go to Casper.com and use code Howie to save $50 on the purchase of select mattresses. Terms and conditions apply. See site for details. Steve, what's the poll question? What are the results thus far?
Should states legalize sports betting?
Yes.
64% say you bet.
Well, there no change. 860 says, I'm here from the government and I'm here to take your action. 802, can you still get a football card at a barber shop? Well, always remember about the football card. It's to be used for entertainment purposes only. Remember that? They always used to write that on. 978, I just hope this doesn't affect the integrity of professional sports. Eyes roll back in my head. And 201, how long before the states lose money on sports betting? It's tricky business, sports betting. You know, I mentioned this earlier. When I was writing Hitman with Johnny Matarano, you know, they were the Winter Hill Gang got into sports betting. They thought they were going to make tons of money on it, and they lost their shirts. And when they went to Jerry Angiulo, who, you know, he was a very successful gambling czar running the mafia, but he did numbers basically, and which was a big money winner until the lottery got into play and had their own daily number. And they went to him and said, we're going to do sports betting. And he said, well, I hope you got a barrel of money. And he was right, because they ended up going broke and they had to borrow the money from him. They owed him hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they never paid it back. And, you know, Johnny Matarano went on the lam. Howie Winter, his partner, went to prison. And the two guys that took over, Whitey Bulger and Stevie Flemmi, they got out of it by ratting out the mafia to the FBI and the feds. And so they were taken off the board and they didn't have to pay the money back. But Johnny used to always say that if you take bets on sports, you have to become a loan shark, because you're going to have a certain percentage of people are going to lose their shirts. And there's only one way to collect the money, and that's to send out a leg breaker to do it.
But if you're an actual business, if you're not in the mafia, you can't send out leg breakers. So is this a good move for debt collection agencies?
Well, that's the thing. I don't know how they're going to run it. I mean, are you just going to force them to go to the casinos to bet? Is that the way it's going to be? I mean, but you know, people don't like to bet that way. They like to call up. They like to have like Howie Winter and Johnny Matarano used to do. They would like everybody else, like every other guy in America, they get some beer and start watching football at 1 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. And that most weekends they'd lose a lot of dough. And so they'd start doubling up at 4 o'clock. And back in those days, they didn't have a Sunday night game, but they would have tripled up if they'd had a Sunday night game. People are going to lose money.
I think 603 on the text line is asking the important question. Will EBT cards be accepted?
Yes, they will, because you have temporary assistance to needy families. TANF, you just take it to the ATM. You take your EBT to the ATM, and then you bet on the NFL. Okay? That's the way it's going to work. I mean, there's going to be a lot of trouble with this. And again, I don't see any way out from under it. I'm not going to make any moral lectures. It's just this argument was lost in 1972, and a lot of prescient people made the argument in the debate in the legislature. They said it's going to be one night. Yeah, you're going to have this one night a week, Saturday night. For about 2 years, and then it'll be 2 nights a week, and then then it's just going to expand and expand and expand. And now here we are. We're 45 little over years later, and now we're going to have gambling on pro football and pro basketball and pro baseball. 844-500-4242. Steve, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Steve.
Well, Howie, the Supreme Court didn't say states must legalize it. It's up to the state legislature.
Right. But what do you think's going to happen, Steve, though?
Well, I think the state is going to try to muscle in on it because they muscle in on everything which can turn a profit.
I mean, do you have any doubt that sports betting is not going to be legal here in Massachusetts?
I think there's going to be some pushback, Howie.
By whom?
I think there's going to be some pushback. Well, there are people who really, think the lottery is a way for the state to steal money from poor people.
Well, right, but Steve, the Catholic Church, when it had a lot of power in 1972, tried to push back, and they could make no headway versus the almighty buck. Now the Catholic Church is a shadow of its former self, and the state is more addicted to the almighty buck than ever before.
Well, I guess you know what the state can use it for? They can use it to give a leg up to minority and women-owned businesses.
Yeah, right.
And the poverty lobbyists, the people who pretend that they're representing poor people and defending welfare programs, they get bought off through grants.
Right.
Yeah, they'll get bought off through government grants, and they'll be quiet about this.
And do you know what else though? I'll tell you one thing they'll do. They will suddenly, the state will say, well, you know what we have to do? We have to hire some people to run gambling addiction programs. And guess who will be hired? Paging the Hackorama.
The advocates.
Yes, the advocates will be hired. And that's the way it is. Look at who's on the Mass Gaming Commission. It's a veritable cornucopia of hack jobs. I think there's 37 people making over $100,000 on that commission. And again, they couldn't they had to farm out the contract on finding out whether Steve Wynn was a suitable character to get a casino license, and they decided after spending $4 million on some New Jersey law firm that yes, indeed, he was. So I mean, it's just it's more of the same. It's going to be they're going to say this. Yeah, we can use these tax dollars. We'll buy a new fire truck for your town. They used to make that. That used to be the big argument in the early days of the lottery. Look at this fire truck the lottery bought. Ooh. We air conditioned the police station. We built a garage for town hall. Oh, marvelous. 844-500-4242. 413. For someone who does not have a dog in this fight, you're sure arguing passionately against sports betting. I know the fight is over. The pushback is going to be minimal.
I don't think you're arguing so much as prophesying.
Yeah, exactly.
So I guess with the scratch ticket program, the state knows what it stands to lose because they know how many tickets are out there.
Yeah.
But not the case with sports gambling. So what happens when the state gets upside down on some huge bet? Right. Somebody bets like $1 million on something with long odds.
Right. Well, you know what those guys, what you need if you're a bookie, you need a layoff guy. Like there was a guy named Bernie McGarry, and then there was the big guy was Doc Jasper Sagansky. But I mean, if the state is running it, who does the state use as its layoff guy? There is no layoff guy for the state. I don't know. That's a whole nother question. If the lottery commission gets into it. Lee, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Lee.
Howie, I just wrote a letter to the New Hampshire Parole Board to release all bookies, et cetera, to head up the state's sports betting commission. And that's how we're going to handle it up here, Howie.
Yeah, the same ones who let Chevalier go to kill somebody else. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they'll pick the right people. We'll have our heavies. We'll have everybody. All we need.
Yeah. I'm not saying that, gambling is that big of a deal. The organized crime always used to like to be involved with gambling because you only got short sentences because nobody, cops, prosecutors, judges, juries, nobody had a stomach for sending bookies to prison or jail even for more than 2 or 3 months. So it was easy. You could give them some money, just pay them when they went to jail and everything would be cool. The ratting out of everybody only started when they came into drugs, and that's that's the way it was in organized crime just across the whole nation. They had the world by the short and curlies until drugs came in. They thought it was a panacea and they were going to make millions, and they did make millions for a while until they all started ratting each other out. But that's neither here nor there. The gangsters aren't going to have control of this. Although, people are going to try to fix. It's going to be more likely that there'll be scandals involving fixing games now that there'll be more money involved, I think.
Do you think this will help with the heroin problem if people are spending more of their money on gambling than on drugs?
Yeah, right.
I mean, this is one graph that the illegal immigrants can't get in on, though.
No, they can't. No, 781, vice after vice with no end. I believe that argument was made in the legislature in 1972, and nobody was listening, and definitely nobody's listening now. Let's see, 541. Karnak predicts the first sports betting licenses will go to recently retired Connected Pauls. Karnak didn't have to be a genius to make this prediction. That's from Beaver State Finian. You mean you're just going by the medicinal marijuana example? When all the what 3 out of the 9 licenses went to recently retired congressmen, some of whom had hired the sons-in-laws of retired attorneys general to be their security. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be the same thing. 781 broken marriages, of course. It's it's a mess. And again, I said this earlier. I don't think there's always been embezzlement since mankind started keeping financial books. But I think the embezzlement has increased dramatically since gambling became so much easier. Whether it's casinos all over the place or just having lotteries. A lot more people are tempted now to just dip in to their companies or their agencies' accounts to get some money to go gamble somewhere. And this is going to make it even worse. 844-500-4242. I'm Howie Carr.
Don't touch that dial. Howie Carr will be back after this.
Hey, I'm here with Ronnie from Get the Tea. It's spring. Spring has sprung. Ronnie, I know why you have to get the tea now, but you tell the people why.
Well, here's the deal. There is so much colon cancer going around, and if you just keep the intruders out and keep yourself cleansed, which the tea does, you could be living a better life.
What's your address, Ronnie? Your web address?
GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com.
GetTheTea.com. My listeners love GetTheTea.com, Ronnie. They're always looking for the new deal, the new special. What is the new special for May?
For your listeners, they're going to get free shipping, and they're going to get $6 off of their teas. Just punch in promo code Howie.
Tell them one more time. What's the special, and where do they go to get it, Ronnie?
Go to GetTheTea.com. This is the tea that makes you go. Go to GetTheTea.com. Just punch in promo code Howie.
GetTheTea.com. Thank you, Ronnie.
It feels like you're relying on this tax cut of the corporations, of the wealthy, to trickle down.
Yeah, Southwest and American Airlines both announcing they're going to give $1,000 bonuses to employees following the tax overhaul.
Wage increases don't follow tax cuts like this.
So the world's largest retailer giving its U.S. employees a bonus, a wage increase, and expanded maternity and parental leave. So you're creating a huge tax cut, right, and you might not get wage growth.
Right. Capital One Financial, which just confirmed to CNBC that they will raise the minimum wage for all U.S.-based employees at Capital One to $15 per hour.
And anybody who thinks that this corporate tax cut is going to trickle down to lift wages has a staggering ignorance of how public companies function.
Wells Fargo said it would raise its minimum wage to $15 per hour.
That the day we cut the corporate tax rate, wages are going to suddenly jump up when there's absolutely no historical evidence whatsoever that this will happen.
Boeing announced $300 million in investments for corporate giving and workplace improvements.
I'm getting older and noticing that my body just doesn't work as well as it used to. So I like to keep fit as possible by hitting the gym a few times a week. Recently, I started having a nagging bicep pain, and it got so bad I couldn't even lift the weights. When I was complaining about it to a friend, he told me about Angioprim. He said chelation helps remove toxins, heavy metals, and cholesterol in veins and arteries that may cause blockages. After just 1 week of taking Angioprim, the pain was gone, and now I'm back in the gym full strength. Scientific research proves the active ingredient in Angioprim has superior oral chelation action that helps promote cardiovascular health. So to learn more, go to angioprim.com. That's ANGIOPRIM.com, or talk to a trained consultant. Call Angioprim toll free at 877-882-7221. You'll feel better with more energy. Call 877-882-7221 or go to the website angioprim.com.
Hey, it's Grace. Can we talk about something serious for a minute? Your age. Getting old has its perks. But remember, being a few years younger, your hair was thicker, you didn't have so many wrinkles, that extra weight wasn't haunting you, and you just felt better. Well, we can't turn back the clocks and go back 10 or 15 years, but you can start feeling and looking 10 or 15 years younger with Nature's Youth RSF. It's a doctor-formulated daily supplement that helps your body maintain its peak performance and fight the aging process. Imagine sleeping better, looking better, and feeling better. See how Nature's Youth RSF has helped thousands of people just like you at nature'syouth.com. nature'syouth.com. Imagine how it will feel when your family and friends are asking you what you did to look so good. Your secret will be Nature's Youth RSF. It's time to start looking better and feeling better. Learn more and order your Nature's Youth RSF at nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com.
This is Chuck Connell from Burlington, Mass.
This is Karosha Ona, Manchester, New Hampshire.
This is Daniel from Medway, Massachusetts. This is the Howie Carr Show.
I'll give you a good bet. I bet your father will love his Father's Day gift if you go to HowieCarrShow.com, click store. First, there's a Father's Day book bundle. You get What Really Happened, Kennedy Babylon, Plug Uglies, and Rat Man. More than $60 worth of books, all autographed with free shipping for just $50 for dear old dad. And if you really want to please dear old dad, go to HowieCarrShow.com and check out the special Father's Day VIP experience. We're only offering 100 of these, so you'll need to act fast. This is for coming into the studio on some Friday afternoon with dear old dad, seeing the entire show, having a meal, getting some of those books, and it's only a few tickets, only a few VIP tickets available. So act fast. Go to HowieCarrShow.com to check out our both of our Father's Day specials. 844-500-4242. Officer Mark says, as with the easy mortgages a few years ago, several years from now we'll be hearing tearful stories about how low-income gamblers were duped by predatory gambling sites. Exactly. Yeah. No kidding. 978, between sports gambling and casinos, it's only going to be a matter of time that our welfare recipients are going to need to be bailed out because now they have a disease and their monthly income is gone. Exactly. It's a disease. The people are saying, I'm in rehab, and that now they're calling gambling a disease.
Just ask the people at the Medicaid office.
Yeah, that's gonna be the next the next thing you're gonna be able to get treatment on. You know, it's not
while you're smoking your Medicaid paid for medicinal marijuana.
It's not enough that you go to the 12-step program that's free. You're gonna need a gambling addiction specialist to treat you. It won't be a psychiatrist, it'll be a psychologist.
And there's going to have to be like a methadone option where it's not quite the pure drug, but you still get to gamble just a little bit.
Yeah, where you get to bet on high school volleyball games, something like that. I don't know. It's there's going to just be so many problems. 844-500-4242. And, this is so easy to see because we've seen it. We've had 45 years with legal gambling here, basically, outside of Nevada. And we've seen what it causes. I mean, everybody has stood in line at a convenience store behind some guy who's buying a bunch of scratch tickets and is just standing there with a nickel in his hand, scratching them off. And it's just, and then throwing them onto the ground when he loses. And again, I'm not making a moral judgment here. I'm just saying I don't think that this is a real panacea unless you're Mark Cuban. And Mark Cuban said today, the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, he's on Shark Tank. He said, "I think everybody who owns top 4 professional sports teams just basically saw the value of their team double at least." This is what he said on CNBC. Double at least. And as I told you earlier, Jerry Richardson's been trying to sell the Carolina Panthers, and there was a story in one of the papers this weekend saying he's looking for $2.5 billion. The team was valued in Forbes magazine last fall at $2.3 billion, and he's only been offered $2.1 billion because they thought the price of an NFL franchise had plateaued with all the problems they've had with ratings and the national anthem, Colin Kaepernick, the concussion problem in the lower levels of the sport. But now he's probably going to maybe he'll get $3 billion. Now, who knows? Bill, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Bill.
Howie, how are you?
Good.
Couple comments. You just became the moral authority on personal rights.
I'm not a moral authority. I'm just saying I don't think it's going to work out. I haven't said it's immoral to gamble.
It's not going to work out. I live out.
Go ahead.
I live in Springfield. We got the casino. The casino's not going to work out. I understand that. But how can you argue about how can you argue about getting your rights given back to you? Why should the government decide how you gamble or what you do with your money? If people waste their money, let them waste their money. That's not my problem.
Bill, I'm not going to.
You're a capitalist, Howie.
No, Bill, it is your problem because you're going to end up paying the welfare.
You're absolutely right. I pay for it now. I'm going to pay for it then. What's the difference?
Right.
Once you max out, you max out.
No, but what I'm saying is, it's going to be bad for the society, and I don't care. I'm like you. I'm going to be taxed one way or the other. But I'm just saying that it's a bad bet for society.
People seem to think that you're disagreeing with the Supreme Court decision, which you're not.
No, I'm not.
You're just predicting what is going to flow from it.
Right. I don't see any way around. I don't see how they could have ruled any other way. By the way, I'm surprised it wasn't 9-0. You know. I don't get it. Thanks for the call, Bill. Daniel, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Daniel.
Howie, I'm a gambler, and I've been in line, and I've watched these clowns buying tickets. I hate the ticket lottery shoppers. I can't stand it. And I play Keno. And if Steve is so naive to think that these people lose, the lotteries, they know exactly what they're doing. They only make enough tickets to make a profit. And then if you happen to win $1 million, you can take the cash option and give us $350,000 back.
Right. Well, of course, I would take the cash option. I don't know anybody who's taken. I don't know anybody in the last 20 years who's taken the monthly the buyout. The last person I knew who took the yearly buyout was Whitey Bulger.
I'm sorry. Did I say that the state loses money on the lottery?
No, you didn't. I don't know what people are hearing this in this segment. We'll talk more about this as we slouch towards Bethlehem. Sports betting is going to be legal sooner rather than later. I'm Howie Carr. Hey, I'm here with Ronnie from Get the Tea. It's spring. Spring has sprung. Ronnie, I know why you have to get the tea now, but you tell the people why.
Well, here's the deal. There is so much colon cancer going around, and if you just keep the intruders out and keep yourself cleansed, which the tea does, you could be living a better life.
What's your address, Ronnie? Your web address?
GetTheT.com. That's GetTheT.com.